I'm Christine Lisi. Developing story. Packers receiver Devontae Adams unlikely to play tomorrow night against the unbeaten Cardinals, considering he still needs 2 negative COVID-19 tests 24 hours apart. Receiver Allen Lazard out because he's unvaccinated and couldn't be cleared in time to play, both on the COVID-19 list. In the part of the Cowboys practice that was open to the media today, quarterback Dak Prescott did not show any ill effects of his calf strain, threw passes without any issues to running backs, receivers, and tight ends. Cowboys can make a couple of game plan tweaks for Dak to play and lower the risk that he doesn't aggravate the injury, explains two-time Super Bowl champ and ManningCast co-host Eli Manning.
You limit some of the things that might, be bothering it, whether that's, some bootlegs or he might not run as much and do the sprints, or if it's more shotgun. So you can work around the game plan a little bit and still be successful and kind of hide the injury.
Eli Manning on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. NHL Lightning star forward Nikita Kucherov out 8 to 10 weeks after surgery on an unspecified lower body injury.
Introducing ATG by Wrangler. We are all greater outdoors, and this apparel doesn't compromise, conform, or call it quits. So, when you're heading into the wild, wearing ATG should be second nature. Shop Wrangler.com today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
What you smiling about, Paul? Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Paulie's fired up today.
Hump day.
Braves win game 1 of the World Series.
It's hump day.
Look at him. He can hardly contain the joy and the emotion.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Put the camera on yourself, Paul. There. Look at him. He can barely contain the joy and the emotion of the moment. Although Charlie Morton's done Cielo toast.
It's hump day.
You nervous, Paulie? Nope. Should be.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jennie Finch next hour. Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
It's hump day.
Boy, we got a lot to get to. Glad you're with us. Let's get it. All right, it's after further review. We appreciate Stevie Levy, the king of the wing, over at Pluckers, title sponsor for Hump Day shows. Another day has brought another defection from the LSU football team. If you have not yet heard, linebacker Bugg Strong has entered the transfer portal. Bugg Strong, we barely knew thee. So Bugg Strong, the number 1 JUCO linebacker in the country. He arrived at LSU in January. He was thought to be a guy that would help solidify the middle of that defense where they were so bad a year ago at inside backer. And I do fully understand that, look, a big part of the reason that, that Bugg Strong has not been able to get on the field and play more is simply the fact that, man, Damone Clark is playing like an All-American. So Damone Clark's playing great. Baskerville solidified a starting spot, although he got hurt this past weekend. But the other part of it, too, is, man, your defense is really bad, and that guy can't find a way to get on the field. And I guess it's somewhat of a cautionary tale of buying the JUCO hype because Bugg Strong was the number 1 JUCO linebacker in the country. And LSU needed inside linebacker help, and so they signed the number 1 JUCO linebacker in the country. and you would think that that's a guy that was going to be able to come make an immediate impact, and it just hasn't really worked out that way for Bugg Strong. He has played in all 8 games for LSU, but just 17 total tackles, 1.5 for loss. He does have a sack and a pass breakup. His season high of tackles came against Central Michigan. The sack that he had was all the way back in the opener against UCLA. It just hasn't materialized for Bugg Strong this season at LSU. And maybe for him, we might be able to look at it and say, golly, had you stuck it out, there would have been a very real opportunity at LSU for you next year because of that linebacker room and what it's going to look like. But we'll delve into that in a second. I want to take you back, man, just again, to kind of illustrate how tricky it can be when you dip into the JUCO ranks. This was Ed Ogeron in fall camp. Remember, Bugg Strong was here during spring. LSU was short on numbers. Remember, Mike Jones was not able to participate yet in spring. So LSU was short on numbers. Bugg Strong went through spring, and then in fall camp, this is what Ogeron said about Bugg Strong.
He's all over the field. Bugg Strong had a big hit the other day, like light somebody up. He is coming in great condition.
When optimism abounds and all is well and everybody's going to be an All-American, and not really. 8 games in, now he's transferring. I mean, that was Ogeron preseason. Middle of the season, this is what Ed Ogeron had to say when he was asked about Bugg Strong.
Bugg Strong's a hard hitter. He comes from junior college. He's learning our defense. He made a couple of mistakes in the first game that were very costly, especially on some crossing routes, but he learned from it. He improved on it.
I would say the most costly mistake, of course, was the back-breaking touchdown that UCLA made on those crossing routes where Bugg Strong was a little out of position, didn't make the play. But we'll see what is next for Bugg Strong. And, man, you would think that this would be an opportunity for LSU to sell a guy on the value and coming back and getting better, because you could look at Damone Clark, because that was Damone Clark a year ago. A guy that was athletic, could defend sideline to sideline, wasn't super instinctive between the tackles, really struggled at times with Bo Pelini's defense, although everybody did a year ago. And he's come back and turned himself into a potential All-American. And Mel Kiper right now has Damone Clark listed as his 5th best linebacker in this year's draft. Incredible transformation. But Bugg Strong won't finish his career at LSU. And, man, when you look at what the linebackers are going to be like next year, we'll see what you're losing Damone Clark for certain. And Micah Baskerville's a senior as well. Mike Jones is going to be interesting. Does he come back? He's officially listed as a sophomore, but does he come back and play another year and try to elevate, or does he go somewhere else or go pro? And then it's a bunch of guys that haven't played. It's Greg Penn and Antoine Sampa and Phillip Webb and Josh White. I mean, that's your linebacker room next year. So whoever the next coach is has a massive task to rebuild that room, and very likely dipping into the transfer portal, but preferably not the JUCO ranks, the major college football ranks. If Alabama was able to go get Henry To'oTo'o from Tennessee, I get it, it's Alabama. Maybe whoever the next coach is can bring a guy along with him as well who can help at linebacker. But I mentioned JUCO is really tough. And every now and again, you dip into the JUCO ranks and you get a Damian Lewis, a guy who it just clicks. He's a day one starter. He starts for 2 years. He's an NFL draft pick and a day one starter in the NFL. That was Damian Lewis. He was awesome in his 2 years in Baton Rouge. More often than not, though, your JUCO transfers are TK McClendon. They're Trevez Moore. They're Badara Traore. They're Javante Demond. They're Quantavius Leslie. They're Philip Lodeholt. Did some research today, Muse. Muse is like, what the hell are you talking about? You remember Quantavius Leslie? Boy.
I remember him. I don't remember Philip.
Philip Lodeholt was an offensive lineman. I believe he ended up finishing up at Oklahoma. But Quantavius Leslie, man, he was the size of a toothpick. And boy, were we fired up when they signed Quantavius Leslie, because he could fly and he was going to blow the top off the defense and he was going to be this amazing game breaker. And did he have a catch in his? I don't even think that is the cautionary tale with JUCO. There are way more Philip Lodeholt, Quantavius Leslie, Badara Traore. He was the number one JUCO tackle in America. He was going to be the anchor on that line. You saw him the first practice in spring, and Ryan Baker was dusting him around left end, and you're like, oh, that kid can't play in the SEC. Yeah, this is not going to go well. That's the cautionary tale. But it goes a step further. Last week, Coy Moore transferred out. This week, Bugg Strong has entered the transfer portal. You know about all of the injuries. Well, Ed Ogeron was on the coach's teleconference today, and they kind of asked the question about, with injuries and stuff, do you know when to ramp up practice, when to pull back on them? And he, in his answer, sort of divulged something that's gotten a lot of people's attention today.
We have a formula here that's been very successful, and I try to stick to that formula, but it does change and vary according to each team. It does change and vary according to the injuries that you may have or you don't have. For example, this week, we'd usually go full pass today, and then tomorrow we'd have the Tiger scrimmage, Tiger Bowl. But we don't have enough players to do the Tiger Bowl scrimmage tomorrow, and we don't have enough players healthy enough to have a full practice today, so you have to make adjustments.
You don't have enough players to have a full practice. Y'all, I don't want to just pile on. I mean, Ogeron's done. He's been fired. He's a lame duck coach. It's coming to an end, and hopefully whoever's next is far more competent. But you do realize that in college football, this isn't the NFL where you've got like a 53-man roster, right? You have a scholarship limit of 85. And then you can have 20 walk-ons for a total of 105 players. 105. How in the hell do you not have enough players to have a practice? It's in COVID where half your roster is wiped out because of contact tracing. And don't tell me about injuries, because everybody has injuries. It's like malfeasance. It's another instance of this staff and their inability to build and manage a roster when you have 105 spots at your disposal and you can't even have a practice. Better days ahead. You'd almost have to. Like, if the next guy can have a practice, they're better than they are right now. All right, it's after further review. Jennie Finch next hour, a little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro in about 30 minutes. Stick around on AFR.
AFR.
Hancock Whitney Bank, the official banking partner of the LSU Tigers and of the New Orleans Saints. Hancock Whitney Bank, the official bank of you and of me and of residents along the Gulf Coast for 120 years. We all have dreams. We've got all kinds of dreams. Maybe it's dreaming of owning a home or starting a business or sending your kid to college or taking that dream vacation. At Hancock Whitney Bank for 120 years, their mantra has been your dreams, our mission. That's what they try to make a reality at Hancock Whitney Bank. Many people are coming back still after Hurricane Ida, rebuilding your home or your business. You can trust the local bank that's been in the Gulf Coast, Gulf region for 120 years. Hancock Whitney Bank. Find the financial center near you. You can always bank online at HancockWhitney.com. HancockWhitney.com. Remember, Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans and accounts subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. Hancock Whitney Bank, the official banking partner of LSU Athletics and the New Orleans Saints.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Right now, at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get a new Highlander with 1.9% financing for 72 months, or we have several new Tundras in stock with the 5.7 V8 engine. So come see us today for your new Toyota. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, congrats go out to the great Alvin Kamara, who has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. And of course he would be. Why wouldn't he be? He was a one-man wrecking crew on Monday Night Football. In a game that was largely offensively offensive, he was the guy that was consistently the stud. The Saints relied on Alvin Kamara basically throughout the entire game. He ran the ball 20 times for 51 yards, had the 12-yard gain on 3rd and 10 where they ran the draw in the fourth quarter that essentially allowed the Saints to keep their game-winning drive alive, where Sean Payton looked like he was going to settle for a long field goal attempt, got the first down, allowed the Saints to chew some more clock. Of course, the 10 receptions for 128 yards and the receiving touchdown in the ball game helped the Saints move to 4-2. I love what Sean Salisbury said on the show with us yesterday, and it was a really good perspective because we do wonder about workload for Alvin Kamara, and it is a very fair question to ask because he's a guy that is diminutive. He's not Derrick Henry. He's not a 240-pound running back. He's a guy that you don't want to take a beating, but when he's getting 30 attempts a game, 30 touches a game, you do wonder about durability. But the thing that Sean Salisbury said on the show was actually pretty point. He said, I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara 8 years from now because the truth is the running back, shelf life of running back in the NFL is what it is, and these guys typically don't play well past 30. So maximize what you have now if it's helping you win games. In some respects, that's true. And I've often been reminded of this as well. And I think about this. Like when I'm watching a Saints game and I watch Alvin Kamara run, I think about this. Work done. Great running back, of course, who went to Catholic High and then Florida State, and you all know, and spent the majority of his career. He was drafted by Tampa, played for Tampa, and then Atlanta. Work done wrote a book after his retirement. And the name of the book was Running for My Life. And it was a great book, not just a great sports book. It was just a great book if anybody's interested and you enjoy reading those types of things. But Warwick Dunn at 170 pounds, 180 pounds, played for a decade in the NFL, ran for 10,000 yards in the NFL. And in the book, he talked about how he was able to be so durable as a running back despite being so small. And his whole thing was live to play the next down. It was get down. Don't take the big hit. You don't get stood up and fight for an extra yard and then take the big hit that can knock you out. Know when the play is over and persevere. And in some respects, I think about that with Kamara at times. So, yeah, he may have had 30 touches, but how many of those touches ended with him scampering out of bounds or just getting down? that's more of the thing. When Alvin avoids the big hit, the ones where I kind of hold my breath more so is when Kamara's running the ball between the tackles and gets caught up in the wash. Everything else to the outside, just trust him with his athleticism, speed, agility to avoid the big hit. And he's largely done that in his career, which is why he's been able to be a durable back, and he is magnificent. The same cannot be said, unfortunately, for Marcus Davenport. Marcus Davenport has played sparingly through every one of his seasons in the NFL. We all know the story with Marcus Davenport being drafted in the first round in 2018 by New Orleans, where they traded up and took him 16th overall. And I was very much in favor of that trade, not because I necessarily loved what Marcus Davenport was, but just more so as a general thesis. I believe that if you are a GM or a coach and you're drafting and you are bullish on a player, you go through your entire scouting process and you're bullish, you believe that's the guy. I would rather you be aggressive and take the guy that you think can be impactful, as opposed to waiting for the draft to come to you and then taking what's there, even if it's not exactly what you want. So I had no problem then with the Saints trading up to get Davenport when they did. But unfortunately, what we've seen is just a bevy of injuries. He played in just 13 games as a rookie when he had a thumb fracture and then a midseason toe strain. Then in 2019, again, played in just 13 games. He missed 3 when he had the Lisfranc fracture. And then last year, his season began by missing 4 games with a bruised elbow bone, and then a toe injury kept him out later in the season before a concussion sidelined him for good, and all he played in just 11 games a season ago. And then, of course, he started off like a wild man, the opener this year against Green Bay, and then he had the pectoral injury, which thankfully was not torn, but it forced him to miss every game until Monday Night Football against Seattle. But this is the story right now on Marcus Davenport as the book is being written. Marcus Davenport has had, in just 2 games, and this is all from Pro Football Focus, by the way, Marcus Davenport has had 35 pass rushing snaps so far in his 2 games. The part of game 1 that he played, and then the game in Seattle. 35 pass rushing snaps. But he has the highest pass rushing productivity rating from Pro Football Focus among all defensive linemen, that's ends or tackles, that have seen 30 or more snaps. Basically, if you're a defensive lineman in the NFL and you've been on the field for 30 or more snaps, no one has a higher productivity rating in those snaps than Marcus Davenport, which is stunning. But, I mean, name a defensive lineman and it doesn't matter who. If it's Myles Garrett or one of the Bosa's, all of them. He's got the most productive pass rushing snaps in the NFL when he's on the field. The problem is he hadn't been on the field. He's averaged fewer than 500 total snaps per season in his NFL career so far. And the reason I would say that right now more than ever, Marcus Davenport's productivity and availability matters is because of what's happening on the other side, right, with Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan got off the schneid. He got his first sack of the season, getting it against Seattle this past week. But, we're looking at Cam Jordan and understanding that that's a Saints Hall of Fame caliber player that is nearing the end of his career, has seen his productivity the last 2 seasons drop, and you're looking for what those options are going to be. That in large part is why the Saints invested in Peyton Turner. But you also have a guy like Davenport if and when he's healthy and available. The problem has been the if and when healthy and available, which unfortunately has been far too infrequent during his career. Now, the Saints signed Davenport to his rookie deal back in 2018, and they did pick up the 5th-year option for next season, for 2022. But they are going to have a decision to make on Marcus Davenport, if that's a guy they want to commit to long-term. And the toughest part about it is you're talking about a position where typically, you don't see elite defensive ends, elite edge rushers hit free agency. The same like you don't see elite cornerbacks hit free agency, because they're so hard to find elite ones. When you get them, you hold on to them. That's why the Saints just paid Marshawn Lattimore a ton of money. You don't typically see elite edge rushers get to the market in their prime. So you kind of are banking on Marcus Davenport staying healthy and being great, or Peyton Turner developing and being great, although he's had injury issues early in his career as well. Or do you go into the draft next year and find one of those guys? That's the conundrum that the Saints are facing here these next few years as Cam Jordan approaches the end of his career. I'm not saying Cam Jordan's done, but he's obviously nearer the end of his career than he is the prime of his career. So when that time comes, do you feel confident with the guys that you have, with Marcus Davenport, with Peyton Turner, to be able to carry that torch, having let Trey Hendrickson walk in free agency this past year to Cincinnati? This would be a great opportunity. It would be an awesome time for the Saints and for Marcus Davenport to play at an elite level. You got Tampa on Sunday afternoon, the 3:25 game in the Dome, and we all know the deal with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is at his worst when he's affected by pressure. So we saw it in the Super Bowls. We see it basically every time that Tom Brady's teams lose. It's whenever he can be pressured, and it's been tough for anybody to get home against Tom Brady, and that offense has been humming, scoring 33 points a game. That's 10 more points per game right now than New Orleans is, averaging 432 yards per game. That's over 100 yards per game more than New Orleans. So the New Orleans Saints defense has been elite. This is good on good with the Saints defense against that Tampa Bay offense. Maybe a bit of good news for New Orleans on the injury front from Tampa. It looks like Antonio Brown with that ankle injury is not going to be able to go. We know Marshawn Lattimore has been elite in his career against Mike Evans. Tampa has a bevy of weapons in that arsenal, no doubt. But this is really going to be one of those games that it puts the Saints' defense to a test. The Saints, because of the Monday Night Football game and the travel, they normally would have a full practice today. They're not practicing today. They'll have a full practice tomorrow and Friday, and then they'll do more work on Saturday than they typically do to get ready for Sunday afternoon in the Dome against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We'll go around the SEC, a little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes. Jennie Finch, 45 minutes from right now, two-time Olympic medalist, gold and silver. At one point, she was described as the most famous player in the history of the game of softball. She's basically in every Hall of Fame. And Jennie Finch is actually a GameCoin athlete ambassador. Despite being from California and being one of the most famous athletes in the world in her time she was playing, she actually spent the last decade living in Louisiana. So, incredibly, Jennie Finch will be in studio with her, and we'll kind of tell that story. We got a pretty cool another GameCoin donation we're going to make. I think you're really going to enjoy it. So make sure you're with us here in about 45 minutes when Jennie Finch is in studio and Russ Mitchell in Hour 3. We're glad you're hanging aboard with us here on a on a hump day edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
Had a call earlier today while I was at lunch from my buddy Darren James, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was on the phone with Terrio, and he was in traffic. He said, well, look at this. It's Darren James. Pulled up next to him because Darren's car is wrapped with big Darren James logos. You can't miss it if you're driving around town. You'll see Darren's vehicle. But Darren is a relentless marketer. He always says to me, late to bed, early to rise, work like heck, and advertise. Nobody, no realtor spends more money marketing their listings, your home, than Darren James. Average realtor spends a couple $100 a month in marketing. Darren and his team spend thousands every month. How many realtors do daily live read radio ads to market their listings? Your property. Darren James does. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Vizzy, the first hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy. Step up your seltzer game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Game 2 of the World Series tonight. Great opportunity to get by Pluckers and watch Astros and Braves, either location Nicholson or Bluebonnet. I told you LSU doesn't have enough players apparently to practice today. Nick Saban on the SEC coaches teleconference discussed what he and his team are using this open date for as they prepare for LSU in the month of November.
Well, I think we have several things that we want to try to accomplish. This week is players to rest and recover and sort of get ready for the tail end of the season. Number 2, it's an opportunity to get more reps and develop some of the younger guys on the team. And number 3, it gives us a little opportunity to look at some of the challenges that we have coming up down the road relative to who we have to play. So that's kind of what we're focused on. That's what we're trying to get done and continue to try to build, the kind of psychological disposition on the team to persevere and succeed, in the latter half of the season.
Psychological disposition. You don't hear that from football coaches every day. Nick Saban, as enthralling as ever. And, by the way, approaching 70 years old. You probably remember Nick Saban's birthday is on Halloween. So Nick Saban will turn 70 years old on Sunday. And he gets asked this every year around his birthday toward the end of the season. Is he thinking about retirement? How close is he to the end of the season? And typically his answer is the same, but kind of was asked, if he's looking at his coaching future differently now that he's turning 70.
No, I just kind of keep on keeping on and don't have a timetable for anything. The only thing that I've, ever said is that if I felt like I was riding the program down or I wasn't able to make a positive contribution to the program, then that would probably be time to let somebody else, carry the torch.
There actually is a timeline. I have been privy, as I've said before, to the deal that Nick Saban did with the Devil in the year 2374 after he's won his 400th national championship. Nick Saban will descend into the depths of hell via the center of Bryant-Dennehy Stadium when the logo splits and he's engulfed in flames from the depths of hell. And the devil comes to collect on his end of the bargain. So we know the date. It's the year 2375 that Nick Saban will, don't even know technically if perish is the term. He'll just descend into the depths of hell, where he will be the devil's slave for all eternity in exchange for ruining all of our lives as college football fans for as long as he has and will for generations after us. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us. I had a friend flying into New Orleans actually today and sent me a picture from the airplane. And the entire River Ridge, Kenner, Metairie area, all of that, so many blue tarps still. We're 2 months removed from Ida. And still so many people are waiting to get a roof replaced. If that's you, give us a call at HUDCO, HUDCOroofing.com, HUDCOroofing.com. We are staffed, we have shingles, we have materials, we have laborers, we are ready to roll. So if you've been waiting, wait no more. Give us a shout at HUDCO, HUDCOroofing.com, HUDCOroofing.com. There's a contact us now tab right there in the middle of the page. You can fill out some info. If you've already contacted your insurance provider and you've got your adjuster's been out, you got your scope of work paperwork, give us a shout. You'll pick shingle colors, we'll order materials, boom, you're on the schedule, we'll get you a new roof. Let's roll. Let's get it done. Too many blue tarps still out there, 2 months post-Ida. Let's get this thing rolling. If you need help or if you know someone who still has that blue tarp and they're waiting, give us a call at HUDCO. 364-1007, 364-1007, or better yet, go to the website at HUDCOroofing.com, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Veteran offensive lineman Ben Brown underwent surgery Wednesday morning to repair a torn bicep in his left arm. Brown has said he is officially out for the remainder of the 2021 season. The injury occurred during the fourth quarter of the Rebs game against Tennessee. You might remember he did not play last week against LSU. Brown had recorded 40 consecutive starts before missing last week's game against the Tigers. He does have 1 year left of eligibility, but he'll have a decision to make if he wants to return to Oxford or enter the NFL draft.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Kirby Smart has acknowledged that Georgia is in a better place health-wise, especially at receiver, than it was before the Auburn game. Smart is hoping to see Jermaine Burton, Marcus Rosemead-Jacksaint, and Arian Smith all back on the field against Florida this weekend. Means that Georgia receiving core be much healthier. Dominic Blaylock and George Pickens, though, unlikely to play, but Smart is holding out hope that he will have his two stars back before the end of the season.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Some sad news out of Starkville as Joe Lee Dunn. You might remember the former Mississippi State defensive coordinator credited with creating the 3-3-5 scheme. Joe Lee Dunn has died at the age of 75. His career spanned 4 decades, highlighted by his tenure as State's DC from 1996 to 2002. He was there during State's only SEC West championship season in 1998. Also served as the head coach at New Mexico and then defensive coordinator at South Carolina and Arkansas.
The Florida Gators.
And some news from Florida Hoops. Jalen Reed, the number 93 overall prospect in the country for 2022. He's committed to the Gators over Arizona State, Maryland, Oklahoma, and Ole Miss. He's a 6'10", 220-pound power forward out of California. You want to feel old? Jalen Reed is the son of Justin Reed, the 2001 SEC Player of the Year from Ole Miss. I'm going to cry. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get from our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Pelicans. One quick tidbit here from the NFC South, and then we'll get Taylor Calandro jumping aboard with us next. Of course, Bourbon Dictionary. Want to get your booze questions in, fire away for Taylor. We'll get to that here in a sec. But so the Carolina Panthers are scuffling it's hard to believe this is the team that absolutely annihilated the New Orleans Saints in Week 2. Yet, after starting 3-0 with wins over the Jets, Saints, and Texans, the Panthers have lost 4 straight. They lost to Dallas, the Eagles, the Vikings, and this past week got pummeled by the Giants 25-3. Yes, the lowly Giants beat Carolina 25-3. That means that great Joe Brady offense scored 3 points against the Giants. Well, there had been some conversation that Carolina was going to pursue a trade with Deshaun Watson in advance of Tuesday's trade deadline. Well, the Panthers have confirmed to ESPN that they are not going to pursue Deshaun Watson. Watson does have a no-trade clause. Everybody knows the story there. He's facing 22 lawsuits alleging sexual assault and inappropriate behavior. He has not played it down for Houston this year. They are holding him out, albeit he's healthy. He does have a no-trade clause, which Watson has said he has waived only for the Miami Dolphins. That might be in part why the Carolina Panthers aren't interested in making a trade, because if Deshaun Watson isn't going to allow the trade, then he ain't going nowhere. But this is a little bit of an exhale, because Deshaun Watson is a game breaker at the most important position in team professional sports. I would absolutely be horrified to see a healthy and motivated Deshaun Watson in Carolina. The Saints have enough to deal with right now with Tom Brady playing the way he is at 45 years old. He's apparently got the Saban contract with the devil. But they've got enough to deal with Tampa Bay doing what they're doing. I'm quite content to watch Atlanta continue to slip into oblivion. Nice win this weekend, though, for Atlanta. Congratulations. But I also need Carolina to be a doormat. And I think, and I get it, Carolina beat the pants off of the Saints earlier this year, but extenuating circumstances that I think we all understand. With injuries and a lot of things going on earlier this year, I am very much looking forward to the rematch in the Dome later this season. But that Carolina offense has struggled, and the thing that could be a catalyst would be injecting a guy like Deshaun Watson in there. That apparently is not happening. Sam Darnold got benched this past weekend. Matt Rhule said he's committing to Sam Darnold, still moving forward. And the Panthers play the Falcons this weekend. So the pillow fight in the NFC South with the Falcons and the Panthers, I'm not sure I really care who wins in that one. The Panthers are at 3-4. Falcons are at 3-3. So Saints just need to keep pace. Just keep pace with Tampa as best they can moving through, and let these two teams wallow in their own misery and see how it all plays out. But Deshaun Watson will not be headed to Carolina, or should I say the Carolina Panthers will not be making a play or a push for Deshaun Watson. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out our final break here of hour number 1. When we come back, Taylor Calandro, Little Bourbon Dictionary. Got your booze questions? Get them in. Email me, tweet me, jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat, or text me in the 225-9. I totally blanked on the number. 396-4400. That's it. Has it ever happened to you where you just blank like that?
Yes.
Boy, that just went out of my mind for a moment.
Odd feeling.
Very odd.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you're driving and you're like, wait, I forgot how to get home.
Yeah.
That's what that was like just now. Where am I going? I don't know. 396-4400. That's the number. 396-4400. Save it in your phone, so when I forget the phone number next time, invariably, you'll know how to text me. 396-4400. It's AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. Great news. All right, so it's 3:43. Insurance Network of Louisiana, they're open till 5. So you got another hour and 17 minutes. You got plenty of time today. Plenty of time to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. So do it right now. You're driving in traffic. I mean, this weather today is supposed to be awful. We're like in our little bomb shelter in this studio where we can't see the outside world, so I actually don't know if the weather's gotten bad. But if you're at home, maybe you're just taking cover, be safe, call Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're hanging at the office, so give them a buzz. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. The process could not be easier. There was a time when I was going through the whole process of, with Insurance Network of Louisiana, where they act on my behalf, shopping and getting rates. So like Adam would call me, I would give verbal verification over the phone. He's like, all right, Matt, that's all you need. I got it from here. And then I'd hang up and he'd go do all the work. 293-0450. Better coverage for less money. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a
Premier customer service.
Premier South Roofing.
Premier South.
This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care.
1045 ESPN YouTube channel, powered by Bayou.
#1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's do it. Wrapping up hour number one. We visit with Taylor Calandro, the Wine and Spirits Director from Calandro's. As you get your booze questions in on this Whiskey Wednesday, you know the drill. You can email me, Matt at 1045ESPN.com. You can tweet your questions at Matt Moscona. You can, thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can text us in the 225 at 396-4400. I did remember the text line this time. Although somebody, I believe it was Dylan, who said, Matt, have you been smoking with Muso? Maybe it's secondhand smoke from Muse's
smoking with me because I don't smoke. I mean,
dude, that's just
you've
not
started
true.
this rumor. Have you gotten a little
That's
curious?
That's just not true at all. I'm definitely curious. I've never been high. I've told you that before. I've never smoked weed before in my life.
Me either.
We just all know that that's not true at all. Taylor, how are you, man?
Good. I know you're a liar. You went to Catholic high school.
Swear to God, on a stack of Bibles, I've never been high in my life. None of my friends smoked weed, was never around it, never smoked weed in my life. I would, and then I got into my professional career, and I have a clause in my contract here whereby we were randomly drug tested, and if I tested positive, I could be fired for cause. So I am honest to God telling you I've never smoked weed in my life, ever. But I would now. I mean, I think I can now. I think.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'll just get some gummies from Yuso after the show or something like that.
Yeah, he was coughing when he called me.
I know. He's always got a little something going on over there. A little bloodshot eye. I mean, what do they call it whenever you got the windows up and you're smoking in your car? What do they call it? Hotbox. Oh, he's hotboxing every time he's leaving out of here. We see him every day. Hey, what's new over at Calandro's, man? We're getting into bourbon season, man. Weather's getting a little nicer. You're starting to see the allocations. It's a pretty good time, man.
Yeah, still slow getting stuff in. We're still. I actually just did an interview with one of the news stations, local news stations, like an hour and a half ago about supply issues, and we're still having supply issues, which it's making me very nervous because it is whiskey season, and we're getting half trucks still and missed deliveries, and it's making me nervous. I'm starting to get nervous now. We're almost to November, and I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Well, I think it's going to all work out. That's just my optimistic viewpoint. And actually, a way to transition to questions like this one from Jim, who said, ask Taylor if he can get Rebel cask strength.
No, I don't. I mean, we've had I'm assuming he's talking about Rebel Yell. We've had the Rebel Yell 10-year. As far as straight cask strength, I'm not too sure about that.
All right. Kentrell Boyd, best bourbon for mixed drinks?
You can mix any bourbon with any mixed drink, honestly. It just depends on how much money you want to spend and waste.
I really know that you'll enjoy this one from Eric, who said, what's a good rum for bourbon drinkers to try?
Oh, man, rum is like my thing. Rum. I sent you a link earlier this week. Whistle Pig is doing their Boss Hog this year, and it's going to be it's a rum finished and aged rye. If I had to suggest a rum to a bourbon drinker, you can go with a Diplomatico, but that's very sweet. I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be agreeable for a bourbon drinker. Four Square is high dollar, 80 to 120 range. If any of the Four Squares, and if you are a bourbon drinker, spend the money, you will more than likely stick with that rum for a long time and forget about your whiskey for a while.
You did mention the Whistle Pig Boss Hog, so let me ask you, this is the 8th edition. This is called La Pulapu Pacific? La Pulapu, I guess, is how they're saying it. But anyway, give us, what do you know? What are the Cliff's Notes there?
So I mean, it is a rye. It's a rye, obviously. It's Whistle Pig. Rye finished in rum barrels, and I don't remember how much time. I'm very excited about it. The last year's was the Magellans, and if for those people that don't know, Boss Hog is like their annual big-time release from Whistle Pig. It's usually pretty super limited. Last year they did one called Magellan's Adventure or something like that, and they aged it in a bunch of different wood, teak wood from Spain, and a couple other ones. This one is going to be straight rum finished, which I'm just super excited about. If you haven't had Angel's Envy Rye, I'm expecting something similar. Probably not as sweet, but something similar.
Kent Wells said, if you were starting a new collection and money was no object, what bottles would you purchase?
I mean, definitely, if money was not an option, I would get. Man, that is such a hard question to answer. If money is not an option,
you just got swallowed up into a cell phone black hole. We got 2 minutes. Yeah, call him back. We got 2 minutes. We can holler back at Taylor. All right, it's after further review. We'll get Taylor back here. Quick reminder about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. You want to look and feel like your younger self? Hormone replacement therapy. Still time also to take advantage of their great October specials over at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Oh, we got Taylor back? Okay, let's go rapid fire. Sean Militello, best bourbon for beginners.
Talk about it almost every single week on the show. I always suggest Basil Hayden. It's a low proof, good flavor, easy drinker. Definitely one to to start off your bourbon adventure
Taylor,
with.
rapid fire, bro. Cole Lecoq, is Old Charter 10 available anymore?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Ask Taylor, best-selling holiday beers.
St. Bernardus makes a good one. St. Arnold makes a good one. There's a ton of them.
Will Montgomery, is there a bourbon you haven't tried that's on your list to try?
A lot of the old stuff, like I'm talking about 70s, 80s, 90s stuff.
Brett Viller, is there a good holiday recipe for a whiskey cocktail?
Apple cider and bourbon. Warm.
Most overhyped whiskey for the win.
Pappy Van Winkle and
Oh,
Blanton.
no! Don't you do it. All right, he is Taylor Calandro from Calandro's, 2 locations in Baton Rouge, and he joins us here on our Whiskey Wednesdays. Thanks for dealing with the phone issues, man. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, man. Thanks.
See ya.
AFR.
Wrapping up hour number 1, we brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Check them out online. I tell you every single day about Michelli Weighing and Measurement and the website, Michelli.com, because that's the place where most people start. And I hear this so often when I talk to Joel and Jamie and all the folks over at Michelli. So many of their clients, current and maybe businesses that had been with other companies before, and maybe that company couldn't service exactly what they were looking for. They go to the Michelli website at Michelli.com and they go, oh, I didn't realize you did that. So right there on the homepage, you'll see the services and products that they offer. It's super easy to navigate. They're expert service measurement tools and equipment of all different makes and models. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. If it's calibration or preventative maintenance or weighing systems, inspections and certificates, equipment repair, and installation, they do it all at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Hand injury lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, breaking NFL news. The Cardinals won't have defensive end J.J. Watt tomorrow versus the Packers. He's out with a shoulder injury. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott listed as a limited participant at practice today, threw passes without any issues to his running backs, receivers, and tight ends. Coach Mike McCarthy said Prescott, dealing with a calf strain, is going to do everything he can to play Sunday night. Dak should be on the field against the Vikings, believes our Keyshawn Johnson.
This is about seeding. They have an opportunity to potentially get a first-round bye. They're going to win the division, but do you want to win the division and be the 6th seed? Or do you want to win the division and be the 1st seed? He can rest when we get the bye because the injury is not that severe any damn way.
Keyshawn of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. With the NFL trade deadline less than a week away, the Panthers won't be pursuing Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. Carolina's not willing to give up the 3 first-round picks Houston's looking for in a deal. Watson's facing allegations of sexual assault and inappropriate behavior in 22 civil lawsuits. NBA, LeBron James out of the Lakers lineup a second straight game tonight because of a sore ankle. Won't play at OKC.
Getting paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit is another reason banking with Capital One is one of the easiest decisions in the history of decisions. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. The great Jennie Finch in studio with us less than 15 minutes from right now. Russ Mitchell next hour. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. I'm always interested by bowl projections. Not that they necessarily mean anything in context of where the LSU will actually go in the postseason. It's just interesting to get outside thoughts and ideas about LSU. More so, it's more of a reflection of how people think they will finish the season. Does that make sense? Based on where they are now and where the bowl projection is, tells you what people think their season will finish like. And right now with LSU at 4-4 through 8 games, they got to win 2 more games to get to bowl eligibility. So they're going to beat ULM. I think we're all comfortable saying that. Is there another conference win? LSU, of course, is going to play Alabama, which I think we all can acknowledge that that it's not going to go LSU's way in Tuscaloosa. And then they'll have Arkansas at home, and then they're going to wrap up with A&M. So they'll go Arkansas, ULM, and then Texas A&M. They're going to have to beat either Arkansas or Texas A&M to get to bowl eligibility. For what it's worth, ESPN's FPI, even after the Ole Miss loss, still does favor LSU in the home game against Arkansas. Just a 5% chance to beat Alabama, but a 56% chance to beat the Arkan Frauds, and then a 96% chance, obviously, to beat ULM, and then just a 41% chance to beat Texas A&M, which is streaking right now. A&M is going to be an interesting team to watch down the stretch because if they really have caught fire and if they can get past Ole Miss, they got a chance to run the table the rest of the way also, and they might be an interesting team in the New Year's Six conversation, considering their loss to Alabama, and then obviously the really ugly loss at home to Mississippi State. So, and then Arkansas as well. So 3-loss team. Could they be kind of like 2018 LSU as a 3-loss team that got into the New Year's Six? Maybe, but that also really is going to depend on how Ole Miss finishes and how Kentucky finishes, because Kentucky made it through their hellacious October and is probably going to be favored the rest of the way. I mean, Kentucky could be staring at an 11-1 season. I mean, could all of these teams can't possibly end up in the New Year's Six. Like, could you legitimately see Bama, Georgia in the playoff, and then Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Kentucky all in the New Year's Six? I mean, the rest of the college football world would melt if it happens. But you are seeing a lot of projections for LSU to make it to a bowl game. ESPN, their 2 bowl projections have LSU, one playing Coastal Carolina in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. That is down in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium on December the 23rd. And then the other bowl projection has LSU playing Texas in the Texas Bowl over in Houston, which would make a lot of sense. The bigger question is, like, would you actually want LSU to go to a bowl game? I mean, my feeling is, of course, I would like for LSU to play in a bowl game. If you have another opportunity to go play a game, to be on TV, especially if it ends up being something where you're playing in Houston, you get that exposure to the Houston alumni base for LSU. It's the bowl practices. It's the dozen bowl practices that you get for some of these younger guys. The awkward part of it, though, is it would prolong the Ed Ogeron era because he would coach the bowl game. So one of two things is going to happen. Either the Ed Ogeron era is going to end when LSU plays Texas A&M on Saturday, after Thanksgiving, November the 27th, or if they make a bowl game, you're going to prolong that by about a month while you have a new coach hired and recruiting for the December signing period and all that stuff. So little awkward, however, that may play out. But LSU's got to get a couple of wins to get to bowl eligibility. We see if they can get there. And, of course, after the bowl games come and go, then it's look ahead to the NFL draft. Mel Kiper's put out his latest big board. And I just want to point this out because there's this idea, this notion that Derek Stingley not playing somehow is going to hurt him for the NFL. Mel Kiper's big board. Remember, this is the best players in the draft. Number 1, Kayvon Thibodeau, the defensive end out of Oregon. Number 2, Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame, who's had an amazing season. Number 3, Derek Stingley, cornerback out of LSU. Kiper still has Stingley as the 3rd best player overall in this draft. I mean, when you are like, as much as we watched LSU's defense struggle a year ago, and we watched Stingley play through injury and then get injured again this year, for all the conversation around everything that's gone wrong for LSU this season, it's not going to affect a guy that's as elite a talent as Derek Stingley is. He's going to be the first cornerback taken. He's going to go to the combine. He's going to run a great time. They're going to get a look at him, all of his measurables. They're going to pop on the tape and see, oh, okay. And he'll be the first cornerback taken in the draft. A couple of other interesting tidbits. So when Kiper puts together his big board, it's the top 25 prospects and then the top 10 prospects at each position. There is a new number 1 quarterback. That's Kenny Pickett from Pitt. And Jeremy Hill and I have been talking about Kenny Pickett during the LSU pregame show every week throughout the season. But if you haven't seen Kenny Pickett, he's a 6-year guy, and he's really legitimately good. Like, he's a really legitimately good player that I think is going to be a very good NFL starter. Just nobody knows who he is because he plays at Pitt, and they've largely been irrelevant. They do have Matt Corral, number 2, Desmond Ridder of Cincinnati, 3, Malik Willis from Liberty, 4, Sam Howell, 5. Off the list altogether is Spencer Rattler. Guy's not even playing anymore. The beginning of this season, Spencer Rattler was number 1 on that list. Now he's not even among the top 10 quarterbacks. Kiper actually opines that Rattler is going to transfer and finish his college career elsewhere, play another season of college, then go into the NFL draft. One of the indictments, I know we've talked about it a bunch, but top 10 players in the draft, you just don't see many LSU guys at any position. No running backs, no fullbacks, none among the receivers, none among the tight ends, none among the offensive tackles. Ed Ingram, he has listed as the 10th best offensive guard in this draft. No centers, obviously listed. Defensively, there's a little more of a presence. Of course, he's got Derek Stingley as the best cornerback in the draft. Ali Gay is the 10th best defensive end in the draft. And then this is the most encouraging. He's got Damone Clark as the 5th best inside linebacker in the draft, behind Devin Lloyd of Utah, Nakobe Dean of Georgia, Christian Harris of Alabama, Jack Campbell of Iowa, and then Damone Clark. Damone Clark has made himself a big pile of money this year. It's one thing for me to arbitrarily say it. It's another when you see it, where Damone Clark would have never sniffed a list like this after last year or before this season. And now 8 games in, Mel Kiper has him as the 5th best inside linebacker in the entire draft. Damone Clark is a top 100 pick. He will be likely right now a day 2 guy, but with a strong next 4 games and a great workout at the combine, provided he stays healthy, Damone Clark could bump up to a fringe first-round draft pick. I mean, that's how good he has played this year, and everybody's taking notice. Oh, yeah, Kiper's got Cade York as the best place kicker in college football and available for the draft. Could LSU actually see its place kicker leave school early and go to the draft? I mean, it's not altogether unprecedented. We have seen it before in college football, and Cade York could, and very likely is, headed that direction as well. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. You know the drill. ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. You need an oil change? Shawbills. You need your tires rotated? Shawbills. You need new windshield wipers? Shawbills. You need, the brakes are squeaking, the check engine light's on? Shawbills. Bumper-to-bumper auto service. And they'll sell you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, y'all, 1 hour from right now, Russ Mitchell will be with us. We'll preview the weekend ahead in the SEC, albeit not too much to talk about because there just aren't many games this weekend in the SEC, as last week and this week is when you see the majority of the team have their byes. So we'll look back and look ahead with Russ Mitchell about 1 hour from right now. When we come back, the great Jennie Finch will be with us, arguably the most famous softball player in the history of the game. She lives in Louisiana now. She's a Game Coin ambassador athlete, and she's going to join us in studio next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. What a time to get by Clegg's. I love this time of year. Many of you know, I've said it often, October is my favorite month of the year for so many sports reasons. You got the NFL in full swing. You got college football conference races heating up. You got the World Series. The NBA tips off. The NHL drops the puck, although I don't really care about that. But October is my favorite month of the year. And it's also when you start to get those hints of fall. Not cold temperatures, but nicer temperatures. And when the leaves start to change colors. I love this time of year, and Clegg's Nursery brings out all the best of fall. Get on by. Y'all, Halloween is Sunday. If you need your pumpkins, they still got them. You want to decorate, if you want scarecrows or hay bales or gourds, squash, any of that fall decor for your Halloween party, you can pick it up at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with LUBA for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes LUBA a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Glad to have you back with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers. And it is our pleasure to be joined by someone who Time Magazine once described as the most famous softball player in history. I could go through the whole bio. National champion at Arizona, a 2-time Olympian, a gold medalist, a silver medalist. She's got her jersey retired by her high school, by the University of Arizona, and by the Chicago Bandits. She's in the National Softball Hall of Fame, basically every other Hall of Fame that you can imagine. She was on Pros vs. Joes, Dancing with the Stars. Donald Trump fired her on The Celebrity Apprentice. She was on Real Housewives of OC. She has been named to People Magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People in the World. She did SI Swimsuit. She's basically done everything. And now, to cap off her career, she gets to come hang out in studio on AFR with a dope like me. She is Jennie Finch. How are you, Jennie?
Good. I'm going to come around here if I ever need a boost of confidence and my ego lifted. I'm stopping by.
But your bio is incredible, right? I mean, and it is so interesting that a girl from California who spent most of your life, I guess early life, on the West Coast, now, like in this phase of your life, you're living in Louisiana. So, like, if you would just take our audience through, for those that don't know, like, how did you end up in Louisiana?
That's by far the most asked question I get, by the way.
I believe it.
And it's usually like Sulphur, Louisiana. How did you end up in Sulphur, Louisiana? Well, love will do crazy things. And so my husband's from Sulphur, Louisiana. And we met in Arizona, got married, lived in Arizona. And towards the end of my career, I had just retired from playing. He was in his last season, and we just knew we already had our first son, and we just knew we needed to be by family. And I wasn't getting a Louisiana boy to Southern California, I'll tell you that. So here we are in Louisiana.
Of course, Jennie Finch and Jennie Finch Daigle, married to Casey Daigle, had a pro career as well. They have 3 children now, and they live. Do you live in Sulphur or in Lake Charles?
We do. We live outside of Sulphur.
So you're outside of Sulphur.
Our address is Sulphur, yeah.
Is what for you, and I run through the bio, and I mean, look, obviously you can go read that anywhere, and you lived it all, but when you read or think about that, you retired from softball at a young age. You were 30, 31 years old when you retired. You're not by any means old, but does it feel in some ways like that life was a completely different lifetime now that you're a mom with kids and living
totally
a
mom
life?
of 3, my whole world is completely different. Now I'm running from practice to practice, from school pickup to practice pretty much. But I'm just so thankful. I think especially being a female athlete, to have had that opportunity that I did in the sport, in the game. Just so cool. Cool to be able to see, being a Title IX baby and just seeing the opportunities just continue to grow as a female athlete and to be a part of that.
I know you advocated very strongly when softball was removed from the Olympics to get it back into the Olympics. I would imagine that's a big point of pride as well, to see the sport back into the Olympics for, I guess, the games that were just played.
Absolutely. I think that as a female athlete, I only saw opportunities grow. And so for us to be able to experience that in 2008, knowing like, wait a minute, these young girls can't have the same dream. Like this can't be real. And so it was so exciting to see our sport back in the Olympic program and on that platform. And hopefully we will continue to fight to get it back in. Unfortunately, for 2024, we are not on the docket, but we're shooting now for 2028. And then hopefully from there, we'll kind of be a permanent fixture in the Olympic Games.
Jennie Finch is our guest here in studio. We do have a charitable component while she's here. We'll get to that in just a minute. Mom of 3, is your oldest aware enough yet now to start asking questions about mom's career, mom's playing days?
No. I mean, he's a 15-year-old boy. The last thing he's worried about is his mom's career. No.
Really? Just doesn't care?
No. I think they kind of lived it, and for now it's now I'm just mom pretty much, know.
So your 15-year-old is Ace, correct?
Yes.
So was he old enough to remember like going around with you like when you were playing in Chicago, or probably not the Olympics, I wouldn't think, not in 08?
No, unfortunately not. So he was 2 in the Olympic Games. But he had a passport. He went to China with me at 6 weeks old to compete in the World Championship. So
wow.
He's been to Japan to watch me play. So just other than pictures, I don't think he remembers. He got to go, in the clubhouse with his dad when he was an Astro. So I think just to be able to reflect back to pictures and see. But unfortunately, no, he doesn't remember. But
so Astros, you watching the World Series? I know you're a Dodger fan, right?
I know, yes.
So our video producer, Paul O'Neill, is diehard Braves guy.
Oh,
so I know. Well, y'all got him last year, and he was depressed about that.
Wow.
I think he was watching in studio when it all fell apart in Game 7.
Tables are now turned.
The tables are a little bit
hard.
turned. Do you have an interest in this World Series?
I do, actually. I'm going to Game 4, so
Nice.
I'll be in Atlanta this weekend. But no, I just love postseason baseball. I love seeing the passion, the heart. It's the atmosphere, the feel. It's so different when you get to October baseball.
Yeah. Do you want to take Paul? I'm sure he'd go. Paul, you want to go to Atlanta? Jennie might have a seat in the back of the car. There, I just pawned Paul off. Paul's got a new baby at home as well. I don't think Paul's going to the World Series this weekend, but I bet he would like to. Jennie Finch is with us here for a couple of more minutes. So, what is for you this next phase of life? So it's post softball. I mean, I could see all the camps, the Jennie Finch World Series. What is professionally this phase of life for you?
I think obviously being a mom is my most favorite job and the priority. But it's been so fun. My husband and I, we started Diamond D Industries, and so we do highline clearing and access. So that's been a whole new project that we've been tackling. And with the 2 storms we've been working on, Delta and Laura, now on Ida, we've been extremely busy, but that's been exciting to see that develop. But no, just being a mom and running our kids to their activities. And I'm an ambassador for Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a lot of work with just providing opportunities for young kids in baseball and softball. As we know, it's so expensive to play. And so that's been a true gift for me to be able to, get these kids that haven't had the greatest coaching or the greatest opportunity, but there's so much talent out there, and provide that opportunity for them, and just to see their eyes light up. And I coach my daughter's little softball team, and just pouring into, I think, just, our community, and being a mom and being a part of that has been such a thrill. And that's one thing I love about Louisiana. Just, you have that sense of community in one another, that just, down home people that truly care about one another. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, is to be able to raise my kids here.
Are you used to the food yet?
Oh my gosh, I love it. It's dangerous. Like, yeah.
All right, so give me your favorite. Like, what when you moved here 10 years ago, or 10, 11 years ago, what was the thing that maybe you couldn't believe that you were eating, but now you're obsessed with?
I mean, I'm kind of daring, and I've traveled around the world, right? So
yeah.
I've been exposed to a lot. I think just alligator, to think that my kids love, gator bites and,
heck yeah, man.
Fried up, and cutting an alligator tail myself and
You've done
feeling
it?
Move. Yes.
Heck yeah,
wild,
man.
wild.
How about Jennie Finch, y'all? Cutting up an alligator.
Yeah, so it's always fun. I think shrimp and crab gumbo, for me, you can't, with okra, you can't beat that. That's my favorite. But it's been fun to even, now I'm cooking up crawfish etouffee and shrimp Creole and all the goods.
You're such a Southern girl. Like, you're so not a kid. Does your California family and friends, do they ever look at you like, you're eating what? You're doing what?
All the time.
Yeah?
All the time. What? But they all want to come. Like, I am like the vacation spot. Like who would have thought that Sulphur, Louisiana is like the
So
hot
good.
vacation spot?
Could you? So a good friend who comes on every Friday is Ryan Terrio. Ryan's got a big performance facility in Baton Rouge, tons of youth league baseball and softball. I don't know if you remember Ryan, but he finished his baseball career in 2012. Could you strike out Ryan today? You both finished your careers about the same time. You're the same age. Could you strike him out today?
I think so.
Okay. So you still this sounds like a bit of a challenge. This is where my
here we go.
radio
No,
guy.
no.
This is where my radio
Those days are over.
guy
Those days are
brain goes. But no, I think we need to make this happen. Like we could do it. We could get him with a bat. We can get you with a ball. We could either go out and see Beth over at Tiger Park. We go to Traction. I think we need to make this happen.
I'll put my money on the Tiger girls. They're probably more in shape, and that would be where my money is.
I have no doubt.
I'll
that
hand over the baton to them, and they can take over for me.
Allie or one of the girls over with
Absolutely.
LSU, there's no question that they could came. I'm just curious, at this point in life, Jennie versus Terrio, that would be something that I would actually like to see. Maybe I'll be able to twist your arm a little bit to see if we can make that happen. Jennie Finch is with us in large part because Jennie Finch is also now a GameCoin athlete ambassador. You've heard us talk about GameCoin a good bit. And one of the coolest parts about it, not only is it crypto, but it's crypto with a purpose. And the idea is to tie a charitable component to crypto assets that actually benefits youth sports foundations. And so for you, and we talked a little off air, even if not being super deep into crypto, what was appealing about GameCoin when they first approached you about a partnership?
Well, I think being an athlete, right? Like anything that includes sports, it's just makes it that much better. And for me to be more interested into it, and then to hear about the philanthropy side of it, along with the social media and providing platforms. And I think for me, it's just providing access to young kids. Being a mom of 3 who all play travel baseball, they play football, they play basketball. I know the expense of it. And so to be able to kind of even out the playing field for athletes all over, not only our country, but world, for me was, I think, the part that sealed the deal.
It's such a great story with this local cryptocurrency, this crypto asset has been able to do in such a relatively short amount of time. I don't know if you know, but you mentioned the storms. The first donations that GameCoin made were to South Lafourche and Central Lafourche post Ida to help get their sports programs back up and running. The St. Charles Parish Recreation Department to help youth sports come back post Ida. It is really remarkable. I know the reason you're here today is because we've been able to make some of these donations on air today here on, in the past on AFR. And actually, you're here to help make another donation. And I know it's something very, very close and personal to you. It's a former teammates foundation that we're going to help today.
Yes, Natasha Watley Foundation. She's one of my best friends, and I just admire the work that she's been able to do in LA and just providing opportunity for young girls to play the game of softball. And she does it's not only for the young girls, but she provides them a coach mentor program, and it's so much bigger than the game for just to be able to see the fruition of her hard work and what she's been able to do, and most importantly, the lives that she's been able to change through sport.
Well, we have Natasha Watley, your former Team USA Olympic teammate, on with us as well. Natasha, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. Say hello, of course, to Jennie.
Yes. Good morning, Jennie.
Good morning, Tosh.
Hi.
So, Natasha, I'm assuming you know why you're here. So, Jennie, I'll let you go ahead and take it away.
Yes, on behalf of GameCoin, Tosh, we are going to donate $50,000. Oh, I'm going to get teary-eyed to the Natasha Watley Foundation.
Oh, my gosh. It's so unreal. I mean, this is awesome. And this is super incredible. And Jennie, Jennie's always doing some magical things, and this is magical. So I appreciate it so much for thinking about the foundation.
Natasha, we're looking at the website here that was established back in 2009. In your own words, we could look at all the stats here that you have, which is incredible. In your own words, what is this foundation meant for you and for so many people?
Oh gosh, it's been a passion project. It's just in a way to, Jennie and I have had so many incredible memories and moments playing this game, and just turning that around and giving that opportunity to girls who probably wouldn't come across the opportunity if we didn't put this game in front of them. And so just the impact that we've been able to make in LA, and we're trying to grow outside of LA, just to give the girls an alternative, give them something to look forward to, and just get them, at the same time, get them active. There's also so many tangibles that you learn from playing sports as well. So it's just been a lot of fun to do it, and it's just been more fun when I can have, my best friends, come along the ride and help, because it's just not me. It takes a whole village, and it takes everybody coming together to make our game much better and giving back.
Natasha Watley is our guest on behalf of the Natasha Watley Foundation Game Coin, donating $50,000. Natasha, what is that money going to be able to do for the foundation and for young girls playing the sport?
Yeah, well, I think we can expand. That's been one of the things that we've been trying to do the last couple of years, expand within at least the LA area. Right now, we're just partnered with the city of LA, so obviously LA is very big, and so we want to kind of see if we can expand a little bit more east and more south, in the South Bay region, if anybody's familiar with Los Angeles area. But right now, we're just in central LA, but we would like to go more east and kind of expand to other parts of LA, so that will definitely allow us to do so in the next year.
Natasha, have you made it to Sulphur, Louisiana, to hang out with the queen of alligator tail meat over here?
Yeah, I have, and gosh, just some of my fun memory and just being a country girl for a weekend. I have some country roots. My dad's from Bernice, which is northern, near Shreveport, Louisiana. So I've got some southern roots, but I definitely, the core of me is a Cali girl. So definitely have visited.
I don't know. You're basically family now, Natasha. I mean, if you've got Shreveport roots and Jenny lives in Sulphur and we're here in Baton Rouge and we're syndicated all over the state, I mean, this is basically a family reunion is what this is.
It really is. And I'll even throw something else. My parents went to Southern University, which is in Baton Rouge.
Oh,
so there you
nice.
Go. Yeah.
You're part of the Jaguar Nation. Like, you're literally family. That's amazing. Natasha Watley, if you want to learn more about the foundation, NatashaWatleyFoundation.org, NatashaWatleyFoundation.org, and of course, Jenny's site is JennieFinch.com, Jennie, JennieFinch.com. JennieFinch.com. On behalf of GameCoin and Jenny, Natasha, we're pleased to be able to make this announcement today. It's great to chat for a few minutes, and we'll look forward to seeing all the great work you do moving forward.
Thank you. Such an honor. Thank you so much.
Love you, Tosh.
It is our pleasure. Natasha Watley, Jennie Finch. Jenny, thanks so much for coming over and doing this today. It's so I can just speak for me personally. It's so cool just to be able to have a small part in helping facilitate stuff like that, because I mean, you just see like the lives that you're impacting, and how many young girls are going to benefit from that donation and the work that people are doing at GameCoin in a different part of the country, which is just, I don't know, it's humbling and really cool. I know you feel the same way.
Most definitely. We know sports can impact and change lives, and that's what it's all about. So providing that opportunity for others.
If you want to learn more about GameCoin, remember, for every transaction, every GameCoin that is bought, sold, or traded, a portion of that transaction fee goes to charity, which is why they've been able to raise over $2 million already. It's
unreal.
In 4 months or so. It's just bonkers what it's been doing, but that's what community can do, and it's amazing to see. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you drove in. I know you're going right back home, but thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Jennie Finch. We'll continue. Overrated, underrated. Coming up next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Ichiban. If you need dinner plans tonight, Ichiban's got you covered. Essen near Perkins. Airline is not where they are. They're at Essen near Perkins. Sometimes old habits die hard, folks. Essen near Perkins. Voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. That is Ichiban. You could have so many different experiences. You could belly up to the bar. Their floor-to-ceiling transparent wine cellar. Their great ice-cold draft beer. Ichiban is an amazing dining experience. You could have your sushi at the sushi bar where they're making the sushi rolls. Hibachi, award-winning hibachi. It is delightful. It is decadent. It is Ichiban. Voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225. And from our friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. If you have not yet tried Bo-Ru, this is award-winning, authentic Japanese ramen. Try it tonight. Ichiban or Bo-Ru Ramen. Try something new. Try Bo-Ru in Electric Depot on Government Street.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Right now, at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get a new Highlander with 1.9% financing for 72 months, or we have several new Tundras in stock with the 5.7 V8 engine. So come see us today for your new Toyota. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, Muso's going to have Tigers in the Pros about 10 minutes from right now. Thanks again to Jennie Finch for joining us. Russ Mitchell in a little more than 30 minutes from right now. We'll look to the week ahead in the Southeastern Conference. Right now, though, Muso, a little overrated or underrated?
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Huh, we got one.
How about that, huh?
I like it, Muse. Good job.
How about that?
What was the, I personally think he's underrated?
That just happened. That was Arthur Smith talking about Matt Ryan.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
And he's wrong, by the way. Matt Ryan, not underrated.
No, he's not underrated.
Perfectly rated.
He's adequately rated. Matt Ryan's known for a lot of yards.
MVP?
He's won an MVP. He's been to a Super Bowl.
What happened at that Super Bowl?
Well, they blew a 28-3 lead. I think that was less his fault and more Kyle Shanahan's fault, though. He wasn't the one calling the plays. I mean, just run the ball and run at the clock.
That's fair.
I mean, it's
That's
over.
what they should have done.
I mean, it's over. Idiot. I mean, I'm glad it happened.
They're bad. Losers.
Idiots.
Overrated or underrated? Personalized license plates.
So, Muse, I got to be honest here for a second. Not that I would ever lie to you. I'm a little nervous about this segment right now.
Okay, why's that?
Because it's abundantly clear that I've not been on my A game today.
That's true. You haven't.
Earlier today, I forgot the text line for the show, which I felt very uncomfortable.
You were flustered.
I was. And then in the segment before Jennie Finch, was talking about bowl projections and things, and I mentioned about the SEC teams that could all end up in the New Year's Six. I mentioned Alabama and Georgia potentially both being playoff teams, and then Kentucky could go 11-1, which is very plausible actually. Ole Miss, if they win out, now they play A&M, but if Ole Miss wins out, they could be in that mix. And then I mentioned A&M right there, potentially in the mix as well too. I said, look, they could be a team like LSU was in 2018, a 9-3 team that got into the New Year's Six, and I rattled off the losses, of course, to Mississippi State and Arkansas, and I mentioned Alabama. Well, of course, Texas A&M upset Alabama, and that completely escaped my mind. And Dylan said, Matt, stop eating the things that Musso is giving you. And now I'm beginning to think, like, did you spike my water?
No, I didn't give you anything.
Is this weed water, Muse?
No, there's no such thing, I'm pretty sure.
Is that Muse?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Is this weed water?
No, I don't know that.
Oh.
Why would you put weed in water?
I don't know. I just got a head fog today.
Okay.
There's a head fog today. All right, what was the question again?
Overrated or underrated personalized license plates?
Yeah. A personalized license plate is overrated. First of all, nobody cares about your little message on your license plate. That's number one. Number two, if you're talking about the ones that are specific to like a championship or something like that, like you can get a...
No, I wasn't even thinking about those.
Okay, those vanity plates, there's a reason they're called vanity plates. It's vain. Nobody cares. It's just a way for the state to make money off of your vanity. They're overrated. Don't do that. And by the way, if you're going to do that, pick something that people can actually make out what it is.
Yeah.
Like when you squish all the letters together and I can't actually make, like, there's times I'm at a red light, I'm like, what does that even say?
That's not how you spell that word.
No, that's not. Overrated. Don't do that.
Overrated or underrated? Papa Shot.
And my mom had a vanity plate whenever we were little. Yeah.
I struck a nerve here, I feel like, a little bit with the personalized license plate.
Papa Shot, underrated.
Okay.
Papa Shot is underrated because it's a game that even if you stink at basketball, anybody can do. And normally if you're playing with the mini basketball and the rim is wide enough and you're that close distance, you get in there and you get tokens. Everybody can have a feel good about it. It's something anyone can do. Like, it's almost like bowling. Like, I love Topgolf. I love Topgolf.
Topgolf's fun.
But Topgolf isn't great for everyone because not everybody can swing a golf club. Bowling, underrated, because anybody can throw a ball down the lane and put up bumpers, and then you can have some fun with it, right? Papa Shot, same way, underrated.
Overrated or underrated? Grits.
What is a grit? What is a grit? Well, my cousin Vinny for you?
Yeah, no self-respecting Southerner uses instant grits.
Underrated, just so I could reference my cousin Vinny.
A great movie. Overrated or underrated? Jason Sudeikis.
Oh, by the way, grits are overrated as a food. Southerners love their grits and all. Grits are like, unless if you have a butt ton of butter in it, I have no interest. Grits are bland and boring and awful.
Hot sauce, salt and pepper.
Oh yeah,
it's delicious.
You've got to add all that into it though. The grit itself, overrated. Like, who wants that? Like, hey, Cracker Barrel, leave that off my plate. I don't need it. Give me an extra biscuit or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. Give me something else that I might eat instead of that clump of mess that I have to throw other things into to make it edible.
If it's clumped, you didn't stir it well enough, but yeah.
I just said a clump of.
Okay.
I didn't say it's clumpy. I said a clump
It can
of.
be, though.
It can be.
Can be.
I don't like it clumpy.
Overrated or underrated? Jason Sudeikis.
Properly rated. He's a comedic actor, and he's a good one, but that's all he is. And he's a good comedic actor.
Last one. Overrated or underrated? Big League Chew.
Was this a reference because of OTB the other day? They were talking about Big League Chew. I was taking Drew to the doctor. I was listening. They were talking about Big League Chew, and I think the comment they made was, I can't believe Big League Chew hasn't been canceled yet, or has it? Can you find Big League Chew anymore?
No. I'm not going to lie. I guess you can, because it was not a reference to Off the Bench. I saw an ad pop up on Twitter for it, and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to put that on the overrated or underrated list.
Big League Chew, I would always say, as far as a candy or something like that, my gauge is, when you buy it, how long does it last? Okay. And Big League Chew is one of those things where you get a pack of Big League Chew, it's gone as soon as you open it. You get as big a wad as you can, and by the time that flavor's gone, you put the rest of it, at least I did. The grape, right?
Yeah. Grape's phenomenal.
The grape is better than just the
green apple is good.
The bubble gum flavor. Yeah. I don't think I ever had the green apple. I don't remember.
Solid, man. Solid.
But it's so true, though. It's like, just like candy cigarettes, Big League Chew, it's imitating chewing tobacco. I can't believe that hasn't been canceled. I haven't given much thought because I haven't bought Big League Chew in a long time, but Big League Chew is an incredibly underrated product. Now, what it's representing, if you don't want kids, imitating chewing tobacco, I do understand that. But, man, as far as a gum and what it is, it's incredibly underrated. Big League Chew, love it.
What's overrated or underrated?
This is After Further Review presented by Pluckers. Muso will have Tigers in the pros as we wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, or Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. You need a place to watch your favorite sports action. The best place to go is Pluckers. That means tonight, Game 2 of the World Series. If you need a place to watch, why would you go anywhere else but Pluckers? Nicholson or Bluebonnet, get there early. They're open till midnight or later every night of the week, so you can watch the entire game, even if it goes past 4 hours like last night's did. Why are we doing 4-hour baseball games, by the way? Pluckers, Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine and carry out or delivery. Uber Eats, DoorDash, if you want your wings delivered to your door. Uber Eats or DoorDash. Online ordering is available now as well. And remember, at Pluckers, every Wednesday is trivia night. So make a night of it. Get your team together. Test your knowledge. Win Pluckers gift cards. Watch the World Series. Eat some wings. Drink some beer. It's a great night. It's Pluckers. You like our wings? We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
You guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite.
after further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Russ Mitchell in less than 30 minutes. Talk some SEC football. Saints injury report in about 15 minutes from right now. But right now, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Jamar Chase. He's been named the AFC's Offensive Player of the Week after his 8-catch, 201-yard, 1-touchdown performance versus the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday. Jamar Chase is on pace for 1,831 yards receiving, which would shatter Justin Jefferson's rookie record from last season.
Is that good?
That's really good. You know what else is really good? I don't know if we've ever had a player featured what it feels like every day in this segment who plays a sport that only plays one day a week. But it feels like every day Jamar Chase is in Tigers in the pros somehow.
That's because he's still catching passes.
I thought he couldn't catch that.
Oh, yeah. I was just doing the thing where sometimes people are like, you know, if you win a football game 77-3, like, oh, wait, they just scored another. No. See, the game ended 2 days ago.
Right.
That's not, you know.
They didn't.
That's I was just like, he just caught another.
That home run still hasn't landed.
That home run's still going. No. We saw it land in the stand.
It went behind the fence.
It was like the guy caught it with his glove. Right. I mean, he was in the upper deck, but it's there.
I mean, I get it. He hit it a long way.
Yeah,
but it did come down.
It came down.
It's the law of that. I mean, what goes up must come down.
Yeah. Jamar Chase played on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. It's 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But he's still catching passes.
Still, just caught another one, actually. He's doing the gritty right now.
Jamar Chase is still running on that 82-yard touchdown. Yeah. He's still running. That's it.
He's
still running. No, see, he played the rest of the game.
Yeah.
He stopped.
It was on camera. We all saw it.
Yeah, they played the rest of the game.
Yeah. Switch over to the NFC. That's where you find Deion Jones. He was named the NFC's Defensive Player of the Week.
Did he just make another tackle?
He did. He didn't want to stop at 15, but he had 15 Sunday versus the Dolphins. Also had a sack and 3 tackles for a loss. Played every single defensive snap of the game. 3rd Defensive Player of the Week honor for Debo Jones in his career, also taking it home in 2017 and in 2019. Alex Bregman, tough night last night in Game 1 of the World Series.
Tough night really for
Game 1 of the World Series. Of the Houston Astros. But Bregman 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in Game 1. He will hit 3rd tonight in Game 2. Minute Maid Park, 7:08, first pitch.
Paulie, did you put that one in there?
Yes, I did.
You were doing there?
Yeah, I did. You heard him. He admitted it. And we also have some NBA action tonight. If baseball isn't your jam, you can see plenty of former Tigers in action in the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets host the Miami Heat. Cam Thomas should get some playing time in that. The Atlanta Hawks visit your New Orleans Pelicans. Skylar Mays for the Hawks. Of course, Garrett Temple for the Pels. Got Naz Reid and Timberwolves. They're in action visiting the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks.
Should have come back.
Probably, yeah. Would have been drafted. And that's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you want to be a hero, give her the red box. You can never go wrong with the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Every single diamond from Lee Michaels, hand inspected by a member of the Lee Michaels family before it goes in the case. And because they buy for 9 different stores, they buy the best, highest quality diamonds in the world out of India, and because they buy so many in bulk, they get better prices. So at Lee Michaels, you get a better quality diamond at an affordable price. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. All right, it's after further review. Put a button here on hour number 2. All right. We will, coming up right after the top of the hour, get to a it's sort of an abbreviated Saints injury report. The Saints did not practice today. We'll run through it, and I'll go through full. So because they didn't practice today, they played on Monday Night Football. They had to travel home. So a day off today. They'll get back into full work tomorrow and Friday, and then more extensive work on Saturday than they would typically do. So not an ideal situation considering you're playing the Bucs, who are as good as anybody in the league right now, and, well, with respect to Arizona. But the Saints are going to make it through the week. We'll go through the abbreviated injury report when we come back right after the top of the hour, and we'll let you hear what Coach O had to say on the SEC Coaches Teleconference earlier today. Tigers were supposed to have a full practice today and then Tiger Bowl tomorrow, but the Tiger Bowl is not going to happen, and that's basically when the younger guys get to go play a scrimmage in Tiger Stadium, because they don't have enough players for the Tiger Bowl, which is confounding. I don't know how it happens that when you can have 85 scholarship players, 20 walk-ons for a total of 105 players, and you don't have enough players for a scrimmage, like 11 on 11. I don't want to just keep throwing dirt on the program right now. I mean, in the Ogeron era, really, it's mercifully about to come to an end with 4 more games. Okay, it's after further review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Here comes SportsCenter to get you caught up on national headlines. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, is DraftKings, online at DraftKings.com, or you can always download the award-winning DraftKings app. You know the drill. Set your lineup, stay under the salary cap, see how you stack up against the competition, and the NBA is back. Playing daily fantasy hoops is easy. Pick your lineup of pro basketball players. Like we said, stay under the salary cap, rack up points for 3-pointers, rebounds, assists, and more. It's DraftKings, and all new DraftKings players, when you use the code Baton Rouge, again, one word, Baton Rouge, you get your free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, it's secure, it's easy to use, it's reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. It's DraftKings. DraftKings.com, or download the DraftKings app. Be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, developing story. Eddie Rosario moved to the leadoff spot for the Braves against the Astros for Game 2 of the World Series tonight. ESPN radio coverage in 1 hour. Jorge Soler, who homered to lead off last night's win, shifted to the 5th slot. Cardinals defensive end J.J. Watt won't play tomorrow versus the Packers because of a shoulder injury. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott dealing with a calf injury, listed as limited at practice today. Dallas being cautious with Dak. The team can make a couple of game plan tweaks to lower the risk so Prescott doesn't aggravate the injury, explains two-time Super Bowl champ and ManningCast co-host Eli Manning.
So you limit some of the things that might, be bothering it, whether that's, some bootlegs or he might not run as much and do the sprints, or if it's more shotgun. So you can work around the game plan a little bit and still be successful and kind of hide the injury.
Eli Manning on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. NBA medical testing showed no structural damage to the right knee of Nuggets center Nikola Jokic. He suffered a right knee contusion last night.
Coming up Thursday, we'll react to Game 2 of the World Series as the Braves take a 2-0 lead back home. We'll tell you if they can keep this magical run going despite losing another key player. That's Thursday morning. Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tompley. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And, ooh, by the way, it's hump day.
It's hump day.
Breaking news.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Trade alert.
Hump day.
Not kidding.
It's hump day.
The Saints.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Have reunited with Mark Ingram.
It's hump day.
Honest to goodness, true story.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tom Pelissero reporting it.
Hump day.
Mark Ingram.
It's hump day.
Coming back.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
To New Orleans.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell.
It's hump day.
In 12 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Jennie Finch last hour.
Hump day.
Taylor Calandro hour 1.
It's hump day.
Bugg Strong transferring.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU doesn't have enough players to practice.
Hump day.
What a day. What a day. All right, let's cruise through it here. It is a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Plucker. So, we do have breaking news, honest to goodness, true story. Breaking news courtesy of Tom Pelissero. As he is the first to report, the Texans are sending veteran running back Mark Ingram to the Saints. Pelissero and Ian Rappaport, the first to report it. A reunion in New Orleans where Ingram started his career. The terms of this trade have not yet been disclosed. If you are not familiar, of course, Mark Ingram and the Saints could not agree on a contract extension to keep, or a free agent deal to keep Mark Ingram in New Orleans after the 2018 season. So in January of 2019, Mark Ingram agreed to terms with the Baltimore Ravens on a 3-year, $15 million deal. The interesting thing about the deal at the time is the difference between what Baltimore gave Mark Ingram and what the Saints were offering was negligible. If I remember correctly, and I don't have the Saints offer right in front of me, the difference was something to the tune of a few $100,000 per year over the course of the contract. Mark Ingram fit perfectly as a compliment to Alvin Kamara. The Saints drafted him. He wanted to stay in New Orleans, but he had a number. Or I should say, actually, the Saints had a number they wouldn't go over, so Mark Ingram decided to go test the market. Well, the Saints then went and signed Latavius Murray.
Murray, present.
And Mark Ingram signed in Baltimore for effectively the same number he would have gotten in New Orleans. Like, if those two sides had known how close they were, Mark Ingram probably would have never left. But he did leave, and he spent the last couple of years in Baltimore, and then Baltimore released him because he just wasn't performing. He signed with the Texans, and now the Texans are sending Mark Ingram back to the New Orleans Saints. Per Tom Pelissero, he notes details are being finalized, but the trade expected to involve late-round future picks, plural. Pelissero notes a bargain addition for the Saints, who get buddies Ingram and Alvin Kamara together again. Okay, so I'm a little torn on this. There are a lot of Saints fans who have 22 jerseys that are pumped, or 28 jerseys who are pumped, because they get to dust those things off and bring them back. And yes, absolutely, there is no doubting that Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara were great complements to one another. That 2018 season, when the Saints went to the NFC Championship game, of course, Mark Ingram had the suspension at the start of that season, played in 12 games, but he averaged nearly 5 yards a carry. But the other thing that is absolutely fundamentally true about Mark Ingram is his productivity was decreasing in New Orleans, which is why the Saints had a hard and fast number they were sticking to, and they were not willing to go over. Mark Ingram now is 3 years removed from that and has been now let go by both the Ravens and the Texans, who are willing to part ways with him. If you look at Ingram's time in New Orleans, it got off to a rough start. And Ingram was one of those players who, of course, the expectation was raised because the Saints traded back into round one to select Mark Ingram back in the 2011 draft. And, of course, because of what they gave up to get him, the expectations were higher. And we saw Ingram play just 10 games in his rookie year, and he ran for only 474 yards. He was not very good in year two either, as he had just 600 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. By 2013, when he started just 3 games and played in 11, it was evident that it just wasn't working with Mark Ingram in New Orleans. You'll recall he had fumbling issues early in his time. And then he started to hit his stride in 2016. And he had his first 1,000-yard season, 1,043 yards, played in all 16 games, and averaged 5.1 yards per carry. That was a career high. In 2016, the 5.1 yards per carry was a career high. The next year in 2017, had his career high in rushing yards, 1,124 yards, played all 16 games, and he averaged 4.9 yards per carry. And then in 2018, as we mentioned, he missed 4 games that year with the suspension. By that point, Kamara was part of the roster, and you saw another stair step down to 4.7 yards per carry. So in those years, we saw Ingram go from 5.1 to 4.9 to 4.7 in consecutive years, and that's when the Saints were like, we see a trend, that his productivity is decreasing. Yes, he was a great compliment to Kamara, the way that they complement each other Ingram could do the between the tackles dirty work, and Kamara was the more versatile chess piece, the Reggie Bush role, if you would, to the Deuce McAllister role. So the Saints paired them beautifully, but Sean Payton and Mike Detillier for years told us this, and he's so spot on. Sean Payton, a disciple of Bill Belichick, has always lived by the mantra that you'd rather get rid of a player a year too soon than a year too late. And sometimes it works out in your favor, and sometimes it doesn't. We always bring up Darren Sproles as the case in point, the evidence of a guy who had more left in the tank that they parted ways with too soon. Malcolm Jenkins is another one of those guys they parted ways with, and in hindsight, Sean Payton has acknowledged they should have found a way to keep Malcolm Jenkins for many reasons, not just play on the field, but also leadership in the locker room. Mark Ingram was they felt, a declining player. They were not willing to give him a bigger than the number that they did, and that was 3 years ago. And now you're looking at a player 3 years removed who has since been cast away by Baltimore and now cast away by the Houston Texans. I don't love it. There's part of me that understands it, okay? I understand that you need an option. You would have loved to have kept Latavius Murray, but
Murray, present.
The Saints went through cap issues this offseason, and they purged a lot of guys they would have liked to have kept. And Tony Jones Jr. looked like an amazing young option, the next in a long line of undrafted running backs that the Saints found because Sean Payton has an eye for it. And you know the list. If it was Pierre Thomas or Travaris Cadet or Kyrie Robinson, you know the list. There's been Chris Ivory. There's been so many of those guys who the Saints have found, and Tony Jones looked like the next one. Well, unfortunately, he got injured, and now the Saints have been going through this turnstile, this revolving door of could-be options at running back, and it's led them here to Mark Ingram. I don't know what Mark Ingram is going to be able to give this team. Maybe coming back to New Orleans re-energizes him. He's played in all 7 games for Houston, but he's averaging just 3.2 yards per carry. That is a career low for Mark Ingram. Since that first year in Baltimore, when he did have a bit of a resurgence playing in that offense with Lamar Jackson, when Lamar had his MVP season, and Mark Ingram averaged 5 yards a carry and had a 1,000-yard season. A year ago, played in just 11 games, rushed for fewer than 300 yards at 4.2 yards per carry, and then he's been even less effective this year. If the Saints were getting the Mark Ingram from 2018, I could probably be down with this. And again, what you give up to get the asset always matters. And as Tom Pelissero points out, you're giving up late-round picks, future late-round picks for Mark Ingram. I want to see that spelled out, what exactly it is. But I don't think you're getting a productive player anymore. I think you're getting a player that's 31 years old, who was probably nearing the end of his career 3 years ago when you let him walk. He had one more good year in Baltimore, and that's been 2 years removed. Welcome Mark Ingram back. He's a great locker room guy. He knows this offense. He knows the system. He knows how to complement Kamara. I just wonder if physically there's anything left in the tank for Mark Ingram at this point. This, for me, while there's a feel-good for a lot of Saints fans, and I do understand that because he was a beloved player who was part of some really good Saints teams and didn't want to leave. And he loved New Orleans, and the fans embraced him back. And I understand the feel-good of this, and I also understand the Saints are lacking options. I mean, they went and try to get kick the tires with Lamar Miller. I mean, I get how desperate they are right now. I mean, Devine Ozigbo was taking carries on Monday Night Football. I get the Saints need something. I'm gonna give you the sort of cautionary pump the brakes that if you think that this is going to be productive Mark Ingram from 3 years ago or 4 years ago, you're not getting that guy. Maybe this is just let's fill the gap until Tony Jones comes back and is a more viable option at running back, complementing Alvin Kamara than what Mark Ingram can be. Look, I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope he drinks from the fountain of youth. Coming back to New Orleans re-energizes him, and he hits his stride in this offense. I just think you're looking at a player that is far on the backside of his career, and I don't know what realistically you get from this. But we're going to see, and we will if there is a benefit, I will give you this. There is one very obvious benefit. Mark Ingram knows the Saints. He knows the personnel. He knows the offense. He knows the coaches. He knows the terminology. He can step in on Sunday against Tampa in the Dome and play competently and know exactly what his responsibilities are, where he's supposed to be, what he's supposed to do, because he's a veteran player and he knows this offense, intrinsically. So and maybe it's one of those deals where Sean Payton's looking for the short-term fix. Is it worth giving up future picks for a short-term fix? But the thing that is so abundantly clear with this Saints organization is they are perpetually in win-now mode. I say that all the time, but it's evident so many times. They are constantly looking ways to make themselves better today to win right now, as opposed to the Texans, which are casting aside everything, playing toward the future. Mark Ingram, he's a Saint again. We'll probably get a good look at him in a Saints uniform this weekend against Tampa. All right, it's after further review. This weekend, light SEC slate. We'll talk about it next with Russ Mitchell.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I love sharing all the great testimonials that I do often with you. Here is another one that came in just yesterday. It's a 5-star Google review about Britt and Cody with River City's 1 Hour Air. We love River City's 1 Hour Air Conditioning. They've always taken great care of us, always friendly. I have my main guy, Britt. He's very knowledgeable and easygoing, good vibes. I used to dread AC maintenance day, but now I look forward to it thanks to Britt and Cody at River City's 1 Hour Air. Another 5-star Google review. And again, River City's 1 Hour Air has more than double the 5-star Google reviews than the next closest competitor in Baton Rouge. Because when you've been doing it for 40 years and you've created that many raving fans, it's easy to see why. River City's 1 Hour Air.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
I've got that blue sky, I've got that sunshine.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
Let's do it. Russ Mitchell, college football news, joins us now on AFR. How are you?
Kicking tires, lighting fires.
I love it, man. Hey, did you hear LSU was going to practice today, but they didn't have enough players?
What?
Ed O'Shawn said that on the teleconference today, that they didn't have enough players to have a full practice.
What is he talking about? Like they just didn't show up?
Apparently 85 scholarship players, 20 walk-ons for a total possible of 105. You have some defection, some guys transfer, some guys get injured, and you just don't have enough for a practice, apparently.
Dude, what is going on down there, man?
Hey, man, like, just land the plane. You know what I mean? Just land the plane and let the next pilot take over.
Dude, this, you know, I didn't make a big deal about this at the time, but this whole nonsense crap where, like, you fire the person, but you let them keep their job, like, you know, this never ends well, ever.
No.
You know, if you got to make a move, you know. And, wow.
It's tough, man. Like, I know that the administration didn't feel confident about any of the options to be an interim head coach. But wouldn't anything be better than this?
Well, I mean, I hate to make statements like it because it can always be worse. But you know, I can't. I mean, I have been covering this sport for 3 decades, and I think I don't ever really, off the top of my head, recall a team not having enough players to practice.
I know, right?
Even during COVID.
That's right.
Did we miss any practices? Oh, I used the wrong pronoun again.
That could have been the royal we about all of college football.
And it wasn't, though.
No.
Did LSU miss any practices during COVID? Like, because they didn't have enough players?
They did postpone both the Florida and Alabama games because of COVID.
But that was they still had practices.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, look.
So basically, so with the exception of a global pandemic, I can't remember any times that a team wasn't able to have a practice.
Nailed it. Is there any, look, last weekend there were just 5 games and they were literally all of them were blowouts. Is there anything from last week that sparked your interest or that you want to discuss?
No, other than that, I was disappointed with how LSU's team was prepared for the game. You know, I was impressed with the kids. I thought the kids tried. I didn't see them quitting, and but you know, it was just poorly coached. I mean, if ever you needed to see the difference, you know, between daytime coaching, right, game day coaching, you know, the drastic contrast between one side of the field and the other, it was Saturday in Oxford.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a big talking point this week, but thankfully, mercifully, there was no LSU game this week, so we get to keep our sanity for at least one second.
Because y'all are getting ready for Alabama.
Well, man, I think everyone has already accepted how that's going to go. But this weekend, because I know we just have one segment, so I want to delve. There are actually 3 really good games, so I got to get your opinion on. The 4th is Missouri-Vanderbilt, and this will tell you how bad Vanderbilt is. Missouri's a 16-point favorite against Vanderbilt. Yes, this is the same Missouri team that gave up 28 points in the first quarter to Tennessee. I mean, like Missouri, like Vanderbilt is just miserable. But let's go to the 3 games that matter, where there's a lot on the line for all three of these games. And let's start with the cocktail party. Georgia, Florida, probably or maybe no JT Daniels still. Does it matter for Georgia?
Well, I don't know. That's a great question because JT comes back, but the cat hasn't played in a month, right? In over a month. So, it might actually be worse to have JT Daniels in the game. Stetson Bennett's been terrific so far, but that's also partly because he hasn't been chased once, right? The only time that guy's ever chased is when he's running the ball downfield. But this Florida defense, they might have some issues, but they can get to the quarterback. So if you're watching for something, and if you've watched all the Georgia games this year, you've seen they've been kind of a little bit like LSU during the Les Miles years. It's like have a fantastic defense and just don't make mistakes on offense, right? Conversely, and this is why Georgia's going to just crush Florida in this game, Florida can't stop themselves from making mistakes, man. 4 interceptions to LSU, 2 interceptions to Vanderbilt. I mean, listen, 4 interceptions to LSU is actually better than 2 turnovers to Vanderbilt. You can't give Vanderbilt the ball twice in a game. That's unacceptable, period. And, they are right now, Florida's we're halfway through the season, right? This is not a bug. This is not a bug, right? This is a feature with this team. They're -7 turnover margin. They've turned the ball over 13 times this season. And you're going to have to be perfect to beat Georgia, and they're not perfect.
Ole Miss and Auburn is really interesting. Oddly enough, Auburn is actually a field goal favorite in this game. But, man, Ole Miss at 6-1, Russ, has a lot to play for considering they got a chance to run the table. And if they do, man, like they're in the New Year 6. And if Bama trips somewhere, bro, they're in the SEC championship game.
If they go undefeated and Bama trips, they are definitely. Well, I mean, they're definitely in the SEC championship game. I mean, the problem is that Alabama holds the game in hand, and if Alabama goes to play Georgia, then Ole Miss is kind of the best case. If Georgia loses, Georgia has 2 losses, both of them to Alabama. Both teams have lost to Alabama, and Georgia had the better schedule, better season. So Georgia would get the nod if 2 SEC teams went. And conversely, if Georgia annihilates Alabama, well, that makes Ole Miss's loss look even worse.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, they still have a tremendous amount to play for. They have a New Year's 6. They have a 1-loss team. This is the kind of season that Ole Miss needs to get the respectability that they don't travel to an average Auburn team after destroying LSU and they're a 3-point dog, right? They need to get to the next level of this program. They need to recruit to the next level so that they're respected enough and it's not just about Vegas. It's not just about the spreads. It's about how you get treated when it comes to getting that one of those 4 coveted invites to the college football playoffs. So Ole Miss has a tremendous amount on the line through the rest of October and November.
Do you think they go on the road and beat Auburn?
I think they do. Look, this is the number 2 offense in the country. Number 2, behind Ohio State. I mean, they've done they're going to walk in. You can pretty much pencil in they're going to do 400 yards, 200 yards offense, 200 yards rushing, and 200 yards passing. Period. Guaranteed. So despite how good Bo Nix has been lately, and actually he's been okay. I mean, since LSU fixed him, since you all fixed Bo Nix,
you suck.
He's been pretty good. So, absent the Georgia game, but I mean, Georgia makes every quarterback look silly. So I think they'll do well, but I don't think they're keeping up with this Ole Miss offense. It's just not going to happen.
So in the last game is Kentucky in Starkville against Mississippi State. This is that great cross-divisional rivalry that we get every year that actually is intriguing this year because, Russ, Kentucky's in the same spot that Ole Miss is in. Ole Miss is in. I mean, Ole Miss lost to Bama. Kentucky lost to Georgia. They're 6-1, and they legit have a chance to run the table. Like, their October was brutal, but they managed to get through it with just one loss. Dude, and now they're sitting there at a chance for a potential 11-1 season.
Yes, you could pretty much take exactly what we just said about Ole Miss and repeat it. This is a program that needs an 11-1 season, right? They need that to get to the next level, to be able to leverage that in recruiting, to leverage that in respect. And I think it's kind of hard for us because we all sit here and it's like, wait, Kentucky? I mean, are we going to start like really thinking about Kentucky as a football team? Damn straight we are if they're 11-1. You know, and now they're traveling to play Mississippi State. Mississippi State, a team that's not been able. In every game they've played this year, they've been incomplete. They've been incomplete in every single game they've played. Kentucky has been the far more complete team. Kentucky knows what's on the line in this game. I like Kentucky.
Kentucky. This is a virtual pick, man.
But so the bigger question is, who do you think? And we can talk about this next week. Who do you think, as long as they both take care of business, who do you think has the better chance to run the table, Ole Miss or Kentucky?
I think Kentucky, just based on their schedule.
Yeah, so do I.
I mean, Ole Miss has 3 games ahead that they could lose. I think they might be favored in all of them. Well, except, I mean, they're obviously not favored in all, but they still got to play A&M as well, although they get that at home. And then they got the Egg Bowl. But Kentucky, the rest of the way, they got Mississippi State, Tennessee, Vandy, New Mexico, and Louisville.
Kentucky's going to end 11-1, dude. I'm telling you, the Wildcats are going to end like with the top 7 program in the country.
I think they slip somewhere. They're not when you're not used to being there.
Yeah, it's pressure too. You know, I mean, it starts to build, and if you're not used to winning those games and you're late in your you know, it's the fourth quarter. I mean, like Alabama expects to win every game. Their players expect to win every game. The teams they play expect Alabama to come back and beat them every day. And, you know, if you look at A&M, for example, there's far more talent and experience on the A&M team than there is on the Kentucky team. So, you know, they were able to hold off Alabama. I don't think Kentucky has that kind of skill, but I don't know, man. I love this Kentucky team this year.
He is Russ.
I'm a guy who breaks down Kentucky football. Damn, I messed it up. How's it go on
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
And we get to talk to you on Wednesdays, and we enjoy it. Russ Mitchell, College Football News on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. We always appreciate you shoehorning us in, man. We'll do it next week.
Hey, Thanksgiving's coming up. Remember, we'll talk more about it in a few weeks, but you got a lot of neighbors that are really hungry, so if you can spare a little bit of extra food for your food bank, I know your neighbors would appreciate that.
As always, well said. Thanks, man.
Bye.
See ya. Russ Mitchell, of course, South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. You could have the entire car buying experience online at southpointvw.com. They are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. I drive a Volkswagen, an Atlas. Erica has an Atlas. You open up our garage, we have 2 Volkswagen Atlases sitting in there, 3-row, 7-seater family SUV, the third row that's collapsible. If you don't even need to bother with the third row, check out the Atlas Cross Sport. Sleeker design, a little bit shorter, eliminates the third row. It's at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, if you missed the breaking news there at the top of the hour, the Saints have traded for running back Mark Ingram. Not joking, honest to goodness, true story. Mark Ingram, who signed as a free agent with Baltimore, was cut by Baltimore, signed with Houston, spent the first 7 games of this season with the Texans. The Texans have traded Mark Ingram to the New Orleans Saints. And there are some Texans players, including one former Saint, who's now a Texan, who is none too pleased with that decision. We will discuss that when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
This Saturday is the Healthy Men Project over at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. I've been telling you about it for several weeks now. Men aged 30 to 50, we by demographic, ignore our health. We are not proactive about our health. We ignore symptoms. We don't go for our standard testing. The Healthy Men Project at the Baton Rouge General is designed to reverse that behavior. So this Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m., this Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m., this Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m., at the Baton Rouge General Bluebonnet campus, this Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m., the Healthy Men Project kickoff event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Putting contest, batting contest, Bloody Mary bar, rock climbing from Uptown Climbing. There's a lot of great stuff, but there's also going to be Ask the Expert. There's going to stations are going to be an opportunity to do certain testing. Men, be proactive about your health. The Baton Rouge General Healthy Men Project. It's free, but register online. brgeneral.org.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information,
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Ed, do you want to clarify something? Because I want to make sure that I'm not misspeaking or misleading anyone. Muse, can you play the Ed Ogeron cut from the teleconference today, again, number 5? Because I want to clarify when we were talking about practice just a bit ago. This is what Ed Ogeron said earlier today on the SEC coaches teleconference when he was asked about the challenge of knowing like when to ramp up practice, when to ease up, considering all the injuries and a lot of stuff LSU's had go on.
We have a formula here that's been very successful, and I try to stick to that formula, but it does change and vary according to each team. It does change and vary according to the injuries that you may have or you don't have. For example, this week, we'd usually go full pass today, and then tomorrow we'd have the Tiger scrimmage, Tiger Bowl. But we don't have enough players to do the Tiger Bowl scrimmage tomorrow, and we don't have enough players healthy enough to have a full practice today, so you have to make adjustments.
So Ed Ogeron said we don't have enough players to have a full practice today. It is important to note that LSU is practicing today. They are practicing in the indoor right now. There's a lot of bad weather, obviously, in Baton Rouge, so they're not outside. They are having practice. Ed Ogeron's notation there about having a full practice is the key component there. So if I misled, I'm sure there are many were misled by what I said in the conversation we had with Russ. So I want to make sure I'm clear there, and I don't want to be misleading with tone or the way that I presented that. So LSU is practicing, but as Ed said there, they couldn't have a full practice, and they don't have enough players to have the Tiger Bowl. I guess in an effort, sometimes hyperbole gets away and things are misunderstood. So I just want to be very clear to understand. LSU is having practice today, just not a full padded practice like they would normally have on Wednesday, and they're not having the Tiger Bowl tomorrow, which is a scrimmage in Tiger Stadium where the younger guys get to play in a game-like setting. They're not going to be able to do that because of some of their personnel numbers. I still maintain when you have a 105-man roster opportunity, 85 scholarships and 20 walk-ons, when you don't have enough to be able to go through a full practice or, as Russ alluded to, save a global pandemic, it's a little ridiculous. And it does still illustrate roster mismanagement, but I just wanted to be very clear about that so the way that I presented didn't mislead anybody. Now, there was no misrepresenting the way Brandon Cooks feels about the Mark Ingram trade. If you're just joining us, it's 5:40 p.m., and if you're just knocking off of work and you haven't heard yet, the New Orleans Saints have made a trade with the Houston Texans, according to Tom Pelissero, for a couple of future, or don't know how many, it was just labeled future late-round picks for Mark Ingram. So the Saints have reunited now with their former running back. Brandon Cooks, a former Saints first-round pick and wide receiver, currently a Houston Texans wide receiver, tweeted a bit ago after the news broke, "This is bull expletive, such a joke," as the Texans are essentially, they are tanking. The Houston Texans are tanking. They are not playing Deshaun Watson. They have yet to find a trading partner for Deshaun Watson, who does have a no-trade clause. He said he would waive it for the Miami Dolphins, but yet they've yet to strike a deal there. The Texans are 1-6. They won their opener against Jacksonville, and since they really haven't been competitive, they lost by 10 to the Browns. They got blown out by the Panthers. They lost 40-0 to the Bills. They had a close loss to New England. They got blown out by the Colts 31-3, and then this last week they lost to the Cardinals 31-5. So the Texans are terrible. I mean, they are the worst team in the NFL right now. They're not playing Deshaun Watson. It's clear that they're tanking. They're shipping off assets to gain whatever assets they might be able to recoup, and very likely will try to draft a quarterback at the top of next year's draft, which is a terrifying thought in and of itself because, as we've talked about, it doesn't seem like it's a very fruitful quarterback year in the draft. But Brandon Cooks not pleased. Maybe Brandon Cooks would want to join Mark Ingram in New Orleans and reunite. I mean, the Saints desperately need receivers. I would have much preferred the Saints do a deal to bring in Brandon Cooks as opposed to Mark Ingram. If you missed it, I did lead off the hour with my thoughts on the Mark Ingram trade. The Saints let him walk 3 years ago because they felt he was nearing the end of his career 3 years ago. The numbers bear that out. He had a good initial season there in 2019 in Baltimore, averaged 5 yards a carry. That was Lamar Jackson's MVP season. The Ravens were 15-1. Since we have seen Mark Ingram continue to regress, and such that they shipped the Baltimore Ravens, I would say shipped him out, but basically cut him. And then he was signed by the Houston Texans, and now the Texans were willing to trade him as well. This does reunite Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, and in tandem, they worked exceptionally well together. Mark Ingram doing the dirty work between the tackles allowed Alvin Kamara the freedom to do his work outside and on the perimeter and create mismatches. I just wonder what you're actually getting with Mark Ingram, with full and total understanding and awareness that you don't really have great options right now. Is Mark Ingram a better option than Devine Ozigbo? Maybe, probably. That's why they're doing this deal. I would still love to see when Tony Jones is healthy, he establish himself in that role, because I think he's going to be a better long-term option than Mark Ingram, because I really don't know how much tread Mark Ingram has left on the tires. There's one other interesting note, and Musso brought this to my attention, that Jeff Duncan on Twitter noted. But Mark Ingram, when he left New Orleans, when he signed that free agent deal with Baltimore, he was on the doorstep of some history. So Mark Ingram is currently second in Saints history on the career rushing yardage list. And Mark Ingram needs just 90 yards rushing to pass Deuce McAllister to become the Saints' all-time leading rusher. And we went into break, and I made a prediction. I said, off air to the guys in the studio, I said, Mark Ingram will not run for 90 yards with New Orleans this year. And Musso kind of recoiled at that suggestion, and I tasked Musso with finding out, aside from Alvin Kamara, how many rushing yards do Saints running backs have combined outside of Kamara for the rest of this year? And the number is?
79 yards. But
in 7 games.
In 7 games. My counter to that is Mark Ingram behind that Texans offensive line has run for 294 yards in 7 games. Running behind the Saints offensive line, he can at least get to 90 yards.
I don't think he's going to get the opportunity. I don't think he's going to get the attempts. I mean, Sean, being Sean, may try to force feed this, but look at what Mark Ingram has been. I know we're running out of time here, but Mark Ingram his career has face planted. And I don't mean that to be insulting. He's a 31-year-old running back. We see this with running backs all the time at the end of their career. They're just no longer effective. And that's where Mark Ingram is in his career. He's just not an effective runner anymore. And I think this could go very similar the way that it has with other running backs, where Sean feeds them, it doesn't go well, and then he's on to the next. I mean, it's just, we've seen this revolving door since Tony Jones went down. I mean, I'm looking at Mark Ingram's numbers. It's just the drop-off is so stark and obvious when you look at his career numbers, and that's just where he is right now. So maybe he'll get there. I would hate to see Deuce lose that record, because you have a stat accumulator at the end of his career, just churning up. That's like Emmitt Smith breaking the career rushing yardage record with Arizona. I mean, come on, bro. Clean it up. But Mark Ingram, you better believe he's going to be in uniform on Sunday against Tampa. I will tell you, the one singular benefit is there is no acclimation period needed. That dude knows this offense, the terminology. He can walk in day one and play. And we're going to see him on Sunday. All right, it's after further review. Let me remind you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. They are the best. GMFS Mortgages, Louisiana's largest local lender. gmfsmortgage.com. Find that local loan officer near you. gmfsmortgage.com and change your life. gmfsmortgage.com. Home buy, refi, construction loans. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives. Okay, y'all, one thing left to do. Jimmy Ott will jump aboard with us. Otter Locks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. That's next as we wrap up AFR.
AFR.
Yo, we are headed toward the holiday season. And, right after the holiday season, it's New Year's. And then before you know it, I know we're just getting into fall, but before you know it, it's going to be spring, it's going to be summer, it's going to be pool season. Don't wait to start thinking about next pool season. Call Pinnacle Exterior Construction today. 757-6138, 757-6138. Pinnacle can take your backyard and turn it into a show place. They did it for me. We just finished our outdoor kitchen. If it's a custom pool and outdoor kitchen, maybe you just need a fence to keep dogs in or out of your yard. Fences, decks, bulkheads, Pinnacle Exterior Construction, they can do it all. But remember, if you want to be swimming by the spring, start that process now. Don't think you're going to call them in May and then you're going to have a pool for the summer. You got to start that process now for next pool season. Get on the schedule now. Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Online, pecbuilt.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggies in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few...
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth the short drive to Clark Crane.
Day to you. Happy birthday to you. Musa, this is the worst rendition of Happy Birthday you could have possibly found.
It's the one I found.
Let's just do it us then. We can turn the music off.
Oh, acapella.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Paul, you too. To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Otter. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Otter.
Well, double nickel, baby.
What does that mean?
My son tells me.
Oh, 55. All right. Got it.
Sammy Hagar. Come on, baby. You ever been to Cabo Wabo? I can't drive. 55.
I love it. That'll be your new theme all year.
Yes, and my son tells me today, Dad, double nickel. Kind of time to slow down, huh, Bump? You know.
Hey, man, happy birthday. Hope it's an awesome one for you. Where are you tonight, by the way?
Oh, I'm at Just Winging and celebrating with all my friends. Nobody here with me, just on the phone guest. And Andy Etzko, Wes Reynolds, Troy Mack, Roger,
so
Kate,
good.
Roscoe, the whole bit. So, but I come with gifts on the birthday.
Good.
I
All
come
right.
with gifts.
We got
Before
to you
we get
late,
to-
and we
before
started
we get-
singing, so we got about a minute. So,
Okay.
hit me with it.
Well,
I'll shut up.
all
You
right.
go.
All right, here we go. College football this year. If you bet the money line dogs all season long, you're plus 34 units.
Oh,
I
wow.
got one little nugget for you. Purdue got bruised up because they had 5 turnovers against Wisconsin on Saturday. They played Nebraska. They're plus 240. Little birthday nugget. Bam. Purdue, Boilermakers, G. Russ, West Lafayette, Drew Brees, plus 240 there. And then we're chasing tonight. We're chasing that Astros tonight in game 2. They got to go to Atlanta 1-1.
Otter from Just Winging It tonight. He's giving you Houston again. Going back to the well and take those Boilermakers, eh? The world's largest drum. Bust that thing out. All right, Otter. Have a great show, man. Happy birthday. We appreciate it as always.
Thank you, Matthew.
All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott following us there, Just Winging It. We do appreciate the Otter, and we wish him a happy birthday. Muse, what did you learn today?
You don't like Mark Ingram anymore.
I never liked Mark Ingram, by the way.
Oh,
I
then
never
you
did.
never liked Mark
I
Ingram.
never liked Mark Ingram. I didn't like the pick. I didn't like him when he played in New Orleans. I was never a fan, ever. Still not a fan. Paulie!
Jennie Finch can cut her own alligator tail.
What's that?
What'd you learn, Matt?
It's Otter's birthday! He's 55! All right, y'all. We're getting out of here. Y'all have a great day. Shout out Pluckers.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the Williamson Eye Center and WilliamsonEye.com. The Ott father, Jimmy Ott, he had the lens replacement surgery. I had LASIK. No matter your age or refractive issue, if you're really old like Jimmy Ott and you have terrible eye issues because you're an old person like Ott, I can do that on his birthday. Maybe it's that lens replacement. Or maybe if you're like me and you're super nearsighted and you are just perfect for LASIK, let Dr. Blake Williamson go through that consultation. I'll tell you, for years, I was always concerned about two things. Number one, people always said, well, my LASIK wore off. That was number one. And number two, I was just terrified to put in a laser on my eye. And the reality is, no matter your age or refractive issue, there is something they can do for everyone that can help you see 2020. It's the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or online at WilliamsonEye.com.
Right now, at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get a new Highlander with 1.9% financing for 72 months, or we have several new Tundras in stock with the 5.7 V8 engine. So come see us today for your new Toyota. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on